Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. And we have a special guest in the studio.
What?
We have my longtime friend, CJ Bambino, indie wrestler, wrestling aficionado, and Star Wars fan, and overall best friend.
Familia.
And I'm so happy to finally have you on the show.
Finally. It's
Welcome.
Finally.
Yeah, we've only talked about this for about like a year and a half, so it's cool that you're here.
We talked about having him as the first guest. And
you guys have been to like 9,000 of my shows in between.
Hey, we're there.
On the fucking show, so I could curse, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
CJ, tell us a little bit about your story, how you got started in the indie circuit, and what kind of introduced you into pro wrestling from the start.
Well, what got me introduced into pro wrestling from the start was my uncle. May he rest in peace. He was an original tape trader. Okay. So he had gotten, it was wild, he had gotten Cactus Jack versus Terry Funk, the exploding barbed wire match from Japan. Because he was getting that and like Pride fighting and all like all this different martial arts stuff.
Right. VHS tapes?
Yeah, he was a VHS tape trader.
Fuck yeah.
So that was literally one of the first matches I ever saw, and I was hooked from there.
How old were you?
I had to have been 5 or 6. I would say at the time.
Damn.
And
that's pretty extreme for a 5-year-old to be
watching. I'm sitting there like, I want to do this when I get older.
Good uncle. Good uncle.
My mom was probably like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? But, yeah, from there, it was just, watching every Saturday when they would have the replays of Raw. And my grandma was actually into wrestling, so we'd be watching it all the time.
Grandma.
And it just went from there. And I was about 14 when I found out about independent wrestling. USA Pro shows used to come all over Long Island. They used to be at the old Sports Plus. You remember that?
That place was
Sports
the best
Plus.
ever.
It was.
Best arcade on earth.
So
2 floors of amazing.
I found out about USA Pro. Then there was flyer there for NYWC, and NYWC was out of the Deer Park Community Center at the time.
Yep.
So I was like, dude, I gotta go.
NYWC shows.
You've been, right?
Oh, I've been to several.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
So I ended up going all the time. So for like a year, I would wait after all the shows and break the wrestlers' balls to try and find out how to become a pro wrestler. So one day, Mike Mando, before he got signed to go to OVW, was like, you really want to be a wrestler? I was like, yeah, more than anything. So him and Joey Mercury, he also had signed his deal, took me into the lobby area, and they were like, wait here. Then Mikey Whipwreck walked up to me, and he was like, be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And then that's how I got introduced to the class and all that. Ended up paying my money up front.
One thing about, I think Vin and Chris and probably Rob don't know that Mikey Whipwreck was the person who invented the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yes.
No shit, really?
Yeah, it's called the Whippersnapper.
Whippersnapper. Yeah.
Wow, and that happened on Long Island?
Well, it was when he had it. He had invented it in ECW and was using it throughout the whole time. And
Gotcha.
then Austin eventually took it.
Did he take it? It's just like, I'm going to do this now?
Loosely.
He added a kick to it.
He added the kick? Is that?
The kick.
Ah, okay.
If you ask Vince McMahon, he kicks him in the nuts every time he does it.
Well, that's the story of how I pretty much got in. And I started out, just being a regular trainee. Few people that were in the class were Tony Nese.
Okay.
Who's in AEW now. Matt Cardona. He was one of the Myers brothers, and Kurt Hawkins was also one of the Myers brothers.
So Alex Reynolds?
Alex Reynolds was later on. He was like, I probably was away from the company at the time when he first trained there. But out of everybody, those were the top 3 guys that ended up getting signed out of that class. I was 15 at the time. And then I ended up hurting myself in actual high school wrestling. And I stopped doing the pro wrestling for a little while, and then I picked it back up 2008 when I graduated high school, and I went to a different school called Pro Wrestling Revolution, which is no longer around. They used to wrestle out of the Upper Room Christian Church.
Okay.
And I graduated from their program, ended up being pro in 2009, and then I went back to NYWC and finished under them. So.
Shit, you've been in the game for a minute then.
Yeah, dude. Actually, it's funny. Today represents 10 years since I won my first title. which
Congratulations.
is wild.
I
Thank
did
you.
see the picture. Rob posted that picture.
Fuck yeah.
He was there.
I was there.
Yeah, Rob was in the picture clapping.
Fucking clapping. Yeah.
Wild.
I
was 23 at the time, and now I'm
Fuck.
33. How nuts is that?
We used to have some wild times hanging out at the bar after those matches and
Yes,
shit.
with
Fucking
Necro
Butcher. Remember he was bleeding all over that kid's poster and the
He's the
kid was
man.
walking out?
One of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
He was really nice.
He
Nice
owes me
guy.
like 9 pillows. He bled all over my pillows.
While we're talking about blood and NYWC, I actually I saw Spike Dudley at NYWC, and
In Dix Hills, right?
I was Deer Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at like the Deer Park
It was the community center.
or whatever. So I saw Spike Dudley. He was gushing blood at the end, and he was signing autographs. And I actually asked him, like, can I have some of your blood? And he gave me some of his blood. So I have Spike Dudley's autograph and a smear of his blood
That's
sick.
funny.
on the ticket with NYWC.
You know what's funny? I was the bellboy.
Really? For that?
Yes. Me and he would become Blake Morris, who recently retired. Me and him used to be best friends. He was the timekeeper and I was the bellboy. And then we would take turns running the, like, guys' gimmicks, like their jackets and stuff, to the back.
So is that how it started when with Mikey and all that when they first got you in? Did they have you do like ring boy stuff, a referee? It's like we know I know another guy, Castro, Howard Castro. I think he was like a referee there or something like that. But did they have you do some of the grunt work first, or did they just start teaching you like left but back bumps?
Well, they were teaching us, you know, before you can actually get in the ring, you need to respect the ring. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Absolutely.
So,
Pay your dues.
yes, you're helping, you know, build the ring. Because that was the main thing that, like, they don't do now, I would say, because, like, out of the warehouse that they're in, it's their warehouse. So
Already
the ring
there,
is up
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But when they do outside shows,
Traveling.
traveling, the kids they have a travel ring that's actually under that ring. And that ring, those kids always, they're putting it up,
Yeah.
they're taking it down. So there's a lot of those kids over there, like the Slime Balls. They're great guys. They're very, very young tag team. But those two, out of a lot of guys there, are so respectful because they're there for everything. They're putting up the ring, they're taking down the ring.
That you saying that reminds me of the Iron Sheik's Hall of Fame speech. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Pick up the ring, put down the ring, drive the ring, pick up the ring.
That's
pull.
That's what we were doing.
And he's talking about Vern Gagne doing that to him in like the 1960s and 70s. So
Dude, we had
Yeah.
out of the Deer Park Community
It's like
Center.
a rite
It was
of
it was a
passage,
little
you know?
little like
listen.
gym.
yeah,
Gotta
So
pay your dues.
we would take the ring out from under like where they would because it was like portion of it was a school, like a little kid's school in there. So old because I'm a custodian for my shoot job, but they're underneath the stage. It's the truth. Underneath the stage is where they usually would have like rows of chairs. But they didn't need to have the ring was just under there. So we'd take the ring out of there. We'd build the ring. We'd do our cardio. We'd be getting our asses kicked.
I was gonna say that's
And-
got to be part of it too. Getting your ass kicked got to be part of it.
Building the ring. What is like the? Obviously, it'd be hard to explain without having it for you. But what is like the step-by-step process? How does the ring get built? You put the turnbuckles down first. You know what I mean? Like, is it?
no,
You're pulling everything out and you're separating everything where it needs to go. The posts need to
Posts
go
go
into
first,
perfect
yeah.
the perfect
Alignment.
positions first.
Yeah.
And every ring is essentially different.
different size.
Different size, different different types of metal. Some are easier to put together than others. So then you're putting up the actual sides of what the frame work is, and then
Is it
you
multiple boards of wood? Boards of wood, like laid across the ring, or is it like fucking?
everybody has it different. Like some people have like long boards or like actual full plywood. Every ring is different, like I said.
So it's usually like a plywood though, and like a
for the most
very
part,
light
and then
padding.
like it could
I was
be,
curious. I
it
never
could
knew
be
what it
numbered.
was.
Usually they have it numbered like what like because you need to have a perfect corner for like a tag match or for a guy to stand, so it's got to be cut evenly and match that exact spot. And then you got to think about everything goes on top of it. With the whatever cushion cushion,
Yeah.
quote unquote,
That's a good-
or like hard mat. Like some rings that I've been in were old ass
Yeah.
amateur wrestling mats.
Have you ever been in a ring
under
that
it.
broke during the show?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Middle rope broke on a show that I was in New Jersey once, and then I was on a show where the fucking top rope broke.
Yeah.
And you gotta learn to improvise. From
Roll
there.
You know the fucking video that went viral of me doing the Dominator on the guy in Texas?
Yes.
You know, the reason why I did that on the floor was because they broke the ring halfway through the fucking show. Like, the whole ring fucking collapsed.
And it's
Good
wild.
thing it
And
broke
they're like,
first
we can't have
because
anybody in there. So it's like, great. I guess
Some
my
places,
first experience
some
in a
places,
ring.
there's only a handful of
That's
guys.
true.
that-
Fuck
You have to
myself.
see Rob in a ring. That's
That
fun.
would be.
Never seen Rob in a ring.
We've always talked about it. We've always talked
Well,
about
because
it.
we did the street fight.
know.
So I know we're jumping all over the place, guys.
No sweat.
But
I was on a hardwood floor.
yeah, dude, he beat the piss out of me, and that was before I even
Terrible.
I even thought me wrestling again wasn't even a thought. Like, I wanted nothing to do with the business after I was hurt for a little while. This was before I saw a chiropractor, got myself adjusted, got myself back to what I needed to be.
Practicing in Gary's pool.
And he's telling me, he's like, listen, I can't do the chicken fight without you because it's going to suck without you. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
So to give you a little background, why that would suck. So I met CJ back in 2008 when we worked for fucking Toys R Us together.
I
He
was
was
security
loss
guard.
prevention, and I was a cashier. And
was
they
LP.
fucking hated us because all we would do was
That place
laugh
was
and
getting
talk
robbed
about
blind.
Star Wars and
Yeah,
wrestling
wrestling.
and shit.
The hell,
And like we
Hulkamania.
always said back then, like that many years ago, we're like, we got to get into a fucking wrestling match together. Like, you know, we'll be a tag team or something. We'll be the Bada Bing and the Bada Boom or some shit. We had some super fucking we had so many gimmicks and shit.
The Gabagools.
And
The
the Gabagools, that's it. And that's why I was like, if I'm gonna do a fucking professional wrestling match, you bet your ass I'm doing it with CJ and nobody fucking else.
Dude,
and
it
to this
fucking
day,
came
I will
out-
never do it with anybody but CJ.
For what
Many
that
people
was,
tried to put me in a fight with a chicken, but
it
I'll
was
never do it without him.
how we put it together. And then even like being able to get the 501st people to be a part of it, the fucking Jedis. and
Yeah, that
shit,
was cool.
that helped. You know, the different skits that we wrote about, like her having the cookie tray, and then eventually, like, because we needed a break, dude. I was sweating my fucking balls off.
I
at
was
that time.
dying.
We were
You-
in the
you at
audience.
least
Me
were
and
in better
Sweet
shape
were
than me.
in the audience for that, and I can't tell you how many times we made this face.
Yeah, like CJ is
Ooh, you just
feeling
took
that.
a bump, dude.
Yeah.
That was hardwood floor. It's not a ring.
I
That's a
thought I broke
hardwood
his nose
stage.
early in the match.
Yeah, CJ was getting body,
I was
taking
getting
bumps.
trounced. The spear, bro.
Oh.
Yeah, we did the indie spot where
my
we were
God.
slapping. Dude, that was my receipt, bro. Cause he's beating the fuck out of me, like as if, like, legitimately. I think Rob had it in his head. He was like, "I'm fighting for my fucking life, bro." He's cracking me with, like, bro, shots to my face, and I'm going off the stage, and like, dude, my nose is bleeding. I'm like, fuck. And then those assholes
He's
forgot
hardcore.
to give the referee the ref shirt.
He's like, I'm the ref.
I'm the ref, my friend Nick. Nikki, if you're watching, I love you.
I'm the
Solid
ref, what?
Ricky.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was
but
that
that
was
shit
an
was-
interesting one. You guys
You know what it was?
oversold that. That
I
was
thought
big.
that the mask protruded more, so I was trying to like hit like the tip of your mask.
you were
and I
blasting
fucking
me.
hit his nose. Like, fuck, I just broke his nose.
I felt like Clubber Lang was trying to kill me.
Oh my god!
in the
Rob was fucking pitch red, sweating his ass off.
They was good fighters,
We were worried.
but they wasn't killers like
The
this guy.
pictures afterwards, I don't know who took those pictures, but there's a picture of the girl helping me out of the suit, bro. I'm drenched.
Oh my god!
Bro, you were
With
fucking.
the singlet, the
Oh my god.
the
The
fucking,
Macho King shit.
Yeah, it was the Macho King chicken. That was the idea. And if we ever got little midget chickens, that would be amazing. We
Oh
need
my
midgets
God.
next time. They need to be
That's it.
chicklets.
We need him. We need him.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I want to do it in a ring because then we could get like a legend or
I'm down for
something, and
that.
it'll just be me bumping around.
I'll get
whatever.
Hornswoggle to dress like Little Peter.
It would be amazing.
That would be
He
amazing.
already does rough and rowdy stuff. I heard
He's
a
already got
fucking
green
great
pants.
guy.
Come
He's
on.
got green pants.
You know,
Frost
That's
could be
fucking funny.
friggin' Brian.
That would be amazing.
there was one point in that chicken fight where I forget what you hit Rob with, but he fucking rolls backwards.
Oh, when I stunned him.
Takes the
Oh
bump.
yeah.
Fucking literally.
I sold that
The
shit
trash
like the Rock.
can. You know what? What about?
Oh my
The
god.
Rock
Yeah,
back
bro.
bump.
His back on the trash can was because you thought that shit was gonna collapse more. That trash can like stayed rigid.
We
It
bought
just
that from
didn't-
like where the fuck did we get that? A dollar store or some shit?
The trash can was from Home Depot.
Home Depot. That's right.
But like the cookie sheets and stuff were from. Oh, you should have seen us buying the weapons. Oh, this makes a great sandwich. Just cracking me in the head with it.
No. This is a behind the
Party
scenes thing.
City.
You remember in my backyard, I had bought these little blood gel packs.
Oh my God,
That I
yeah.
thought
Didn't
we
need
would
it.
be able to get like to explode or some shit. So I wouldn't have to
Wanted to
fucking
have Peter
cut.
Griffin bleed?
And like I taped it to the bottom of the pan. I'm like, hit me over the head with the pan until it bursts. And like 8 shots later, I'm like, Siege, I'm getting dizzy. Like, we gotta stop.
And I'm like, it's okay. You hit me so many times already.
No, it was like, and then I forgot to use them in the match anyway. I was gonna like break one and be like, oh, and like be bleeding or some shit.
Yeah, but then your mom would have got up. And
my
killed
mother
me.
would have cried.
probably
The
would've
little
cried.
kids,
What a
the little
sin.
kids would have freaked out.
What a sin.
Yeah, it
There
might have
was
been
a
a
bunch of
little
little
far.
kids in
My
the crowd
favorite thing
going,
in the video
"Peter,
is the people
Peter."
cheering for me as the chicken. I was like, yes, I love
New
those
chicken order?
people. Yes, I love how they knew. I was like, yes.
I spray painted.
And
That
we
was
put-
me. I
we
spray
put the
painted
chicken wire on
NCO
it.
and I put Cluck You on the other side.
Because that's the joke.
How is this not a gimmick being sold to like a local indie
And I
circuit
stated
now?
a chicken wire
That's
to
good
it.
money. That's an
I said this
attraction.
a year
You want
ago.
the
That's-
real
I know,
life
we-
Peter Griffin, Robert Franzese,
Yes.
and CJ Bambino, the giant
go.
chicken, to
I
come
will
do
actually
Do
train
it.
and do my
We'll do
push-ups.
it.
Get them
I'll
on
do it.
there. Get them in
I'll
the
eat my
ring. People
vitamins
will
and say
pay
my
to see
prayers
that
if it
shit.
means I
I'll
get
do it
to
at
wrestle
WrestleMania.
professionally.
I'll
Okay.
get Vince. You hear?
I'll pay.
Call me,
yeah,
Vince.
Yeah, WWE, you listening?
I'll be Kevin
Triple
Owens'
H.
little brother.
Triple H, you listening?
Oh, Chris.
Oh, speaking
Chris,
of
he says
Triple
your
H,
mic's off.
are we going to talk about Triple H tonight?
That's not.
Yeah, we're going
Let's
to.
not,
Wait,
he
what,
says.
our Mount
Is he
Rushmore?
your least favorite?
Chris,
No.
what was your question? Well,
My mic's not working.
all right,
That's
so
Shawn Michaels.
No, I mean, we had
Chris-
I think last year, leading up to last year's WrestleMania, we always do a big wrestling show, and we talk about, like, our Mount Rushmores.
Right.
We did a top 10 list and things like that, and Chris put William Regal and Triple H in his top 10. And nobody else did.
William Regal.
Listen,
That's true. It was based off
Triple H
Joe's
is
ranking system.
Triple H is a great
When
wrestler.
it comes to wrestling,
He's not-
everybody has their own flavor of ice cream,
Of course.
so to speak. So
Chris's mic
And
is
they're all
broken, so no one can
qualifications
hear
for
him.
what makes them great. Like,
Yeah.
is it technical wrestling? Is it mic skills? Is it their
I've been-
if
impact
they
on the
stand out
business?
to you,
I've been to so many shows in house shows in Madison Square Garden. I've never
There we go.
paid to see Triple H headline something. Never.
Ouch.
He's never been the
I
sole
call him number
reason
11.
for me to
God.
kind of go to a show
Fucking
or
full of
watch an
shit. The
event.
3 stages of
many
hell.
versus
No
seven.
Mercy, the
He
video
sucks.
game was based off of
Chris
the
is
fucking
seething
pay per view.
over. Seething.
With fucking Triple H versus Stone Cold headlining it.
Number
I
11.
will say that my favorite.
He's not
Triple H
even.
match
three
was
You
stages
against
of hell.
said
Mankind.
you said
Can
we like different
ask then,
people.
hold
I
on,
don't even
think this
like
is a
him.
fair- let's be fair.
Can't
then.
hear. He's screaming.
We have a guest, so we could go into this all night. CJ,
yes.
on the spot. I don't even think in any particular order necessarily, but who would your top 10 all time be? I
Top
think
10 all time, no
all time.
particular order.
Do you need time? You want us to
No.
riff a little? Because we
Stone
can.
Cold Steve Austin is
Number
on
one,
that list.
right.
Ric Flair is on that list. Undertaker, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, on that list. Dusty Rhodes is on that list. Mick Foley is on that list. I don't care what anyone says.
Nice.
Eddie Guerrero is on that list.
Oh, he's got a good list. He's got a new list.
Definitely Jericho because he finds ways to reinvent himself all the time. He's been a champion every single place he's ever been, and you can't take that away from him.
Nice.
And he's building stars today.
Yeah.
Bret Hart is on that list. Owen Hart is on that list.
Spread.
I got one more.
And I would say
William Regal.
I would say
Bruno.
no, I can't
Nobody
put Bruno.
behind you.
Andre.
Did you say Sean?
Maybe-
Was Sean
maybe
on
The
the
Rock.
list?
Wow.
Well,
so
Brock
okay.
or Hogan would be like tied for.
Okay. There it is.
You got.
That's a good one.
You got to put Hogan because personally,
We said
like
this
I was
last
never
week.
really a Rock fan growing up. You got to put Hogan for the simple fact of how he drew throughout the years, and then also it took time, but for him to turn heel, and for the
At
people
the
to
right
be
time,
like,
too.
dude, like they were crying in the audience. They
Said it
invoke
last
that
week,
emotion,
yeah. Yep.
and little kids like, dude, my hero just like shit on me. Tremendous. You know? Fuck those little kids. Fuck them kids.
Fuck them
Some
kids.
kids.
So Hogan's there, and then for like, dude, when he came back to WWE, he was cool, Hogan, and then it was
Over like Rover, brother.
and then fucking.
So where does Shawn
Patriot again.
Michaels make it on your list?
I mean, Shawn Michaels would be in, but he's not my favorite. He's not my flavor of ice cream.
No.
That's my
That's
the
what,
way
it
to
comes,
put it.
that's what it comes down to ultimately.
Like, dude, Kurt Angle's my favorite wrestler of all time.
What flavor is
Kurt
William
Angle was
Regal?
my
one of
number
them.
one. He wasn't on the list, I don't
What
think.
flavor is William Regal?
He should be in that list, but there's so many.
That's the thing. It's impossible to really.
Plus, he had a shortened career, so you can't really,
William
But you
Regal.
can say the
Kurt.
same about Austin.
All right, I think it's generational too, right?
But then, yeah, and at the same time too, like, dude, Benoit.
It's
great
generational,
wrestler.
but there's
Well,
definitive.
he wasn't great on the mic.
know,
There's
I'm-
a definitive 3 or 4 that
But
wasn't
everybody's
bad on
gonna
that
say.
run.
So
for WrestleMania 20 was one of the greatest build-ups for someone that
I was there live front row.
didn't really.
Who did he go?
show
Who did he go
emotion.
against? Who did Benoit?
Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Oh, interesting.
Triple H can as a showman could be.
He
11.
heralds Triple H because Triple H main evented all these events.
Strong
He
11.
got all these titles. Yeah, I would shoot him.
surprised
That's
Macho
not
Man
my
doesn't
whole
I was
argument.
married to the
That is
boss.
one small
Macho
part of
Man's
my
in that
argument.
list.
Yeah, that's
totally-
why we always point. Hey, you got the Macho Man.
Yeah,
right on your
Macho
shoulder.
Man.
So I said right behind you, there's two guys that probably.
Yeah, I totally forgot Macho Man. I love Macho
It's
Man.
tough. It's tough. On the
It's tough.
spot.
No,
so
Roddy Piper,
Joe did come
Andre
up with.
Giant, there's
Joe came up with complex,
It's not my it's
comprehensive.
Not mine. It's
oh,
Bret
I'm sorry.
Hart's.
He used
Not mine.
Bret Hart's rating system.
Okay.
So we rated. What was it? Intro. I'm sorry, Joe. What was the rating system?
Yeah, so there's three categories. Out of category, you score 10 points, obviously 10 being the highest. You have your in-ring skills, so how you perform, how believable you are, your technical prowess, the quality of matches
Ring
that you put
awareness,
on,
yeah.
ring awareness, everything. The second one is your look, how you can sell yourself, how your attire looks, your logo. You
gotta
know,
be unique.
whether or not you want to buy merchandise from this person, if whether or not you look at him for the first time and he stands out in a crowd, pink and black, red and yellow, things like this. You know, these things stand out and they hold, weight over time. I'm still buying fucking Bret Hart shirts and I'm fucking 40 years old.
I certainly hold weight over time.
Yeah, we know that. So 1 to 10 on that. And then the last thing is your promo skills. So how you can sell yourself, how you can sell your opponent, how you can sell the event. So you take those three, you put it into 10. This person is a 777. He gets 21, and then you put him on a list.
That's how our lists were built. Actually, when we
It
did
wasn't
that
your
little,
favorites. It wasn't your.
It was how you would rate someone. And
But you know what? It also comes down to everyone's going to think about their favorites first off.
so let me
That's
ask
the
you
thing.
this.
I
Let
say
me
it's
ask you
hard.
this.
All right.
Just off of promo, because I actually think out of the show that we went to, your presence was like the best out of the
you.
entire
I truly
roster
appreciate
of
that.
wrestlers. I'm not
Definitely.
just saying that because you're here. I actually believe that because your match wasn't a main event; it was a tag match. But the crowd was into it more than any other match because you got them amped up, you got them
I
fired
made
as a
them a
heel.
part of it.
You
I
pissed
wanted them to hate me.
you pissed them
good.
off.
That sounds great.
You know,
That's
and
what
then they're
kids said,
bought in.
"Fuck you."
When you piss somebody off, they're bought in. When you
Yeah.
make them cheer, they're bought in. You make them hate you, they're bought in. You make them cry, they're bought in. Like you have to invoke one of those emotions in order
I
to do
wish you knew me around the time when I started building Steam because I had met Piper at a show. He came to one of the shows that I was on, like a pre-show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Fight the World Wrestling that is no longer
I wish I
a
could have made
company.
it to that. That was one of the few I didn't
And
make.
that. I love Roddy Piper.
dude, I was the main event of the pre-show. The match was dog shit. Guy I wrestled ended up forgetting all the spots that we went over. My opponent changed like 7 different times, and then it went from that kid to another kid to 3 other people. Then it got mishmash, and then it was back to him.
Yeah.
So we tried to do like the people didn't realize that we fucked up, but myself, I'm the type of person that like my art needs to be because like wrestling is my art.
You're hard on yourself.
Yeah, dude, and like, dude, I was pissed.
Hey, let's cut you off. I have a question for you.
Let him finish.
No. Finish.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, so I go in the back. I start taking my boots and all my shit off. I'm throwing my shit. I'm visibly pissed because like I'm like, dude, that was like the worst match I had in a long time.
Yeah.
So I was fucking fuming, and all of a sudden I'm sitting down. I'm taking off my other boot, and fucking Piper comes up to me, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I didn't show him that like I was shook, but inside I was like, holy fuck, this is the guy that like. Besides Stone Cold and McFoley, that I was like, I learned how to talk shit from Piper. So, like, that's where you get your balls, Piper. Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit. So he sits down with me and he's like, he spoke, kind of not broken English, but like, his fucking Irish accent, Scottish accent. Yep. And he kept calling me lad. He's like, laddie, yeah. So he's like, yeah, I get you in WrestleMania every day, kid. He's like, I had to see who CJ was because they were chanting your name the whole time. He was like, the stuff that happened that you think were the bigger things, he's like, were really little things. He's like, you're not going to have a WrestleMania match every night of your career for however long it's going to be.
Right.
And I took that to heart. And I was like, wow, thank you. And then, he gave me other advice that I could tell you guys later on off camera.
Yeah.
But like it was wild because they usually tell you not to meet your heroes, and meeting him, I was like, wow,
Dangerous.
it wild. But
dangerous.
that little piece of advice
Yeah.
helped me further like. Now I just go out and I have fun, dude. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna say when I go out there. Now I just say it.
Yeah.
Some of the times your guys in the back, they want to plan A to Z, dude.
A to the
Too
Z,
much.
Bubba.
Too much.
Because they don't have the
It's too
improv
much.
skills, so they have to plan it.
But something will always go wrong.
Right.
So you gotta be able to think on the fly.
Improvise. roll with
Improvise. You could trip like, dude. You know how many times I've tripped over my own self to fucking get to the top rope, and then you gotta play it off like you meant to do it. Who gives a shit?
Your adrenaline's rushing and
dude.
shit's not
you look
quite.
like a jerk off. I'm half naked out there anyway. So,
So
what was your question?
with your story, meeting a hero, and getting that advice, what would and now all this experience you have, you're a veteran of indie wrestling. Now you've continued to try to grow. You've gone through ebbs and flows. You've gone through injury, kind of sounding like you weren't going to get back into it.
dude,
feeling motivated.
I was away for 6 years.
So here's my question: what advice would you give your younger self or your starting off self now? What would you tell younger guys?
The advice I would give my younger self or younger guys now is to keep your mouth shut and your eyes open and your ears open as well. See everything that is around you and listen to the older guys.
Right.
Any time I've gone to visit other places, there's only a select few of guys that want to make it in this business when they go up to a veteran and they go, "Hey, can you watch my match?
Right.
Can you
Asking
give
for
me
feedback.
can you give me constructive criticism?"
Yep.
So many people are afraid of constructive criticism.
Yeah. You have to have that.
You have to have that.
That's what DDP
Anytime-
said Jake the Snake did for him more than anything.
Yeah.
He critiqued his matches.
Let him. Who cares? Like, dude, one of the best wrestlers on the independents right now that I feel should be signed is the Greek god Papadon. If you don't know who he
Papadon is great.
look him up.
Three.
He is the man.
Three.
He's the type of person, if I'm not in the ring physically with him like I was at the Psycho Circus this past year, I always ask him, "Hey, can you watch my match? Can you tell me blah blah blah?" And he will always go out of his way, no matter what, and he will watch your match.
He was in
That's good advice.
like the wrestler, or like a movie recently.
He was in The Wrestler.
He was
He
in The
did a
Wrestler.
cameo.
That's a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
movie.
And then he wrestled on AEW a handful of times. He should be signed. He's one of the best wrestlers
He
out
actually was like one of the few people, not few.
What-
I mean, everyone there was good, but like when he would try to pin somebody, and then he only got a 2 count, he would insist that it was a 3 count. He'd keep going 3, 3, and then like the crowd would chant.
He's
back,
another
2,
one.
3, or something.
That's
like
how,
that.
dude. It's heat.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like that's saying
It's all
something.
about your
if I
pop,
remember.
It's crowd control.
Getting back to what I was saying about the whole, advice. Like these younger guys coming in, like you gotta go to seminars. Like out of respect for my original trainer, Mikey Whiprack. After the Psycho Circus the next day, I had hurt my foot. My foot is still hurt. I showed up just to watch him teach. And I brought a notebook.
Smart.
I went to Tennessee to do an Al Snow seminar.
Oh shit.
With,
That's
dude,
cool.
With
Leaf Cassidy.
with the hopes of getting
What does everybody want?
a contract or some type of deal.
OVW?
He owns OVW now.
Yeah.
So, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm not, I don't have that big physique that most places want, but it was a good experience for me.
Al
And I
Snow knows
still-
how to get ahead in life.
I still learned a lot from
Also just saved
from
some
that
kid from
seminar.
drowning.
We
Like,
got
that's
in the ring
smart.
with him. We got to hear him talk, his philosophy on wrestling.
Being young is tough because you think you fucking know everything.
Yes.
Right?
Because
You've
these kids,
watched,
they
you've
backyard-
observed.
I was the same way, dude.
I
was
know it
backyard
all.
wrestling.
I know what
that
you're
you're the
doing wrong. I know what all
exception to
the
every
vets are
rule.
doing wrong.
Yeah.
I'm fucking smart. Yeah, but you don't know shit. And honestly, experience is the best teacher. And then also being humble. I think part of it is
Yes.
being a little bit more humble. You got to mix it. You got to have the ego, but you got to know when to shut the fuck up and listen.
Yes, and literally be a student of the game. You're not there just for your match. You're there for the show as a whole.
Yeah.
You're there from bell to bell.
Yeah.
From the time you're the first people to walk in, you should be the last to leave.
Controversial question. Not controversial, but What do you think holds people back? Like the guy you were talking about just before. What do you think? Is it politics? What keeps guys back from being signed? In what? How do you get there?
There is a lot. I mean, I wish I knew. And this is me talking to the camera
sorry.
right now. I wish I knew.
I don't mean to put
what
the
it-
question in that
what
way,
it took
but
for me to get signed, but like, it's a lot of politicking and a lot of brown nosing, and there's some people that I want to do it on my own merit, so I'm not going to kiss someone's ass.
Some
That's
of it
how
is-
I
it's
am.
tough to do it that
Some
way.
of it is timing.
is.
Some of it is who you know.
Yes.
Exactly.
Some of it is who you kind of rub elbows with, who you
Yes.
kind of are
Right.
around.
Like if you could have met Dusty, you know, it could have.
It also
you know?
Who knows?
a big part of it is exactly how good are you.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes.
stand out in a group of like a locker room full of 20 wrestlers? Like, are you a standout performer? Are you a standout look?
Yeah.
I like
Does your attire look
conditioning,
professional?
everything. Yeah.
I like
it's
The
a-
Rock's story for that reason. That like I think he had it all, but then like he still had to earn it anyway. Like
Yes.
it was
No,
almost
he got
on.
handed a huge gift though.
Well, of
He
course,
basically had a phone call and he said, "Okay, come train over here. We'll take a look at you."
his
and then
dad.
he had to go through the paces and go through
The shit.
Mid South and Memphis territory.
It's
and
a
things
lot
like
about
that, but,
who you know.
Yeah, there's
And
only
if
So
you-
you know when your
and if
dad's
you
who he
choose-
is.
Tuesday doesn't have
if you
anybody to
choose
call on the
to
phone.
use-
I just mean to say
these
when you're rocking
contacts-
by a Via and it doesn't work, and then you got to come up with something new.
Oh, you're
because
talking about
it's
his gimmick that he started with.
right.
Like
you know, because
Savannah.
technically he was gifted all of it,
Yeah.
but it still didn't work, and you still had to. But
Yeah,
you know
he
that's
made it
that's
his
not a
own.
good example.
Sometimes it takes time. Like, dude, it takes time to find out who you are.
Yeah.
Some people don't know who they are until
There's
you know.
maybe like 2 or 3 guys we can name off the top of our
Hell,
heads
even
that
Stone
came
Cold
out.
didn't have Stone Cold right from the
Yeah.
start.
That's what I.
Ringmaster.
That's what I mean. I think it's
There's very
important.
few
Yeah,
guys.
hair.
Stunning Steve.
It's important to understand shit like that because I think on the outside you look at it like, oh wow, it's so perfect and it works so well, and it's like,
Hell, even
no,
meeting
you don't know the
Mark
whole story.
Calloway,
This
that
shit takes
didn't work,
time,
you know?
effort,
A lot of shit.
reps.
Beautiful Bobby
How old
Ramis.
was he? Stone Cold was in his fucking 30s before it ever really popped for him, right? I'm assuming. So that's I think that's a good lesson for
DDP.
younger guys too.
DDP started
became
later
a
than
pro
pretty
in
much
his
anybody.
40s.
Sergeant Slaughter started off as like a fucking hippie. He was beautiful Bobby
Shit, even
Ramis.
Bill Goldberg, and I know everybody hates Bill Goldberg, right?
Well, Bill Goldberg started out as Bill Goldberg, and he was just Goldberg the whole time. So he would be one of those
But he
guys.
was old, right? He was old.
Isn't like maybe 33? Not that old.
No, okay. I thought that was considered like old for like starting
yeah, I mean,
to
you're
wrestle.
not 17
Yeah, well,
starting,
especially
but
now
yeah,
it is.
definitely.
Now
old,
it's like,
old to start for sure.
Old to start, right?
Yeah.
Right.
now
right.
they're taking kids when they're like freaking like 22. Not
Yeah,
even when they're like 18, 19.
taking a lot of kids out of the amateur wrestling circuit.
Yeah.
I wanted to kick it though to the comments because I know a lot of people have been having some questions for us, questions for CJ.
Yeah, we've had some action in the comments. Real Jacob and From the Dungeon are both here. Shout out to them, friends of the show.
Always, always.
So they're saying right now that they're trying to see if they can find Joe in the crowd for WrestleMania 20.
You
You're
look a
front,
lot different than I did in 2004. That's 20
He's got
years
about
you said
100
front row. Were you what side were you on? Were you on TV side? Were you on
No, I was not on
That's
TV
TV
side.
side's
I was
expensive.
on the corner facing the
Trying to say,
ramp.
like home plate at Yankee
the
Stadium.
corner?
Exactly. Seriously.
Yeah,
So
the
if you're
entrance
looking at
ramp.
the ramp, you're on the left or the right
Just
corner?
like curious.
To the right or the left of the ramp?
To the right of the ramp.
To the right of
If
the
you're
ramp.
if you're walking down the ramp, I'm to the right of the
I have to
ramp.
hear about this fucking ramp.
This fucking
Fucking
ramp.
ramp. So Real Jacob is
Don't go
saying
from
his
BJ,
ramp.
and then they put it in the
Throw it in
drive.
the drive. Yeah. Hey,
jacket.
Chris forgot the jacket.
With
so.
the toughest reputation in Essex County. Not what I got through him.
How much was that, Joe?
Tickets?
Yeah, because
Back
Jacob's saying
then.
it too. That's not cheap.
Yeah, so
Even back then.
I bought 3 tickets, and they were $793 a pop. This is
That's
2000.
cheap
That's
compared
cheap
to-
That is
now.
dirt
Yeah,
it's
cheap.
probably
you
over
try
a
to get a
grand
ticket
now.
for front row WrestleMania now, you're spending 5 figures.
And you have to
That's
blow 5
fucked up.
dudes.
Yeah, that too.
That's
but you're spending
up.
5 figures on retail, not resale value. Like off of Ticketmaster, you're spending that.
Yeah, but
which is why I
but we
haven't-
know
soda's
we
$90.
know that's a scam. By the way,
But
that's
what
all a
what
scam.
I did is I sold the other 2 tickets online for
Second
$1,600
market,
each.
brother.
Can I-
And my ticket was free, and I went with a group of friends that we all used to go to wrestling shows together. We used to get in a shuttle bus. We would go to the Elks Lodge in Queens. We'd watch every ECW show.
I
We'd go to
wrestled there a
South
handful of
Philly,
times.
and we'd go to the
Philly,
ECW
this guy
show
won't even
there.
go back there no
Fuck
more.
Philly. Philly
This guy
sucks. I
will
hate
not-
fucking Philly. Fucking
I hate Philly too. Actually,
How did you get
Yo,
those
the
tickets?
ECW arena is fucking cool.
So you had to
though.
go wait outside.
I was outside the line in
Tents,
Madison Square
the whole
Garden at the
nine.
ticket booth.
Yeah,
Yes,
dude, that's
camping
old school,
outside.
man.
That's
Old
awesome.
school.
Yeah.
No fucking
I go to
internet
Philly
bots.
for the simple fact that I get fucking parking tickets every fucking time I go there. I swear.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah,
give you
I
like
mean,
a
that's-
rundown
they
of
can't
the
even-
major
don't even
shows
drive
that
there.
I've been to, and I have a really good question for CJ that I wanted to bring up as well. So my first show was 1987 Madison Square Garden house show. My parents took me. The main event was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Both of them had the titles at that time. Hulk was the world champ.
Yeah.
Macho was world champ. And I remember I was 5 years old at this point. Yeah, I'm fucking 40, whatever. I said to my mom, I think Hulk's going to lose tonight. And she says, why do you think that? I says, because he's wearing white and not yellow and red. And sometimes Hulk would wrestle in blue, tights or blue boots.
It was his,
and this time
his
he was
throwback to his
funeral.
territory.
Yeah, he was all white. He had white trunks on, white boots, white knee pads.
Thunder Lip style.
Break them in half like
Exactly.
this.
well, he had blue
Exactly.
tights too, right?
For a
Once?
little while, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
In the early '80s, he definitely he wore other stuff than red and yellow.
Yeah.
And he lost. He actually got counted out outside the ring because he was attending to Miss Elizabeth, and Macho Man slipped in the ring. And at the end, Macho Man picks up the world title and the other title. He's waving them in the hands, and then Hulk comes in and cleans house and takes him out. And that was my very first live event, and from there I was hooked.
That's sick.
Like from there, after that, we went to WrestleMania 3. I didn't go to Michigan. Wow. We saw it at Madison Square Garden on closed circuit television.
It was
This is when the wheel was invented. Closed circuit television.
Yeah, right around.
This is before pay-per-view.
Discovered fire.
So we're sitting in the crowd at
Irrigation.
MSG. Lights go down. The screens come down, and I watched 4 hours of WrestleMania 3. So yeah, I mean, I've been to
They invented the wheel the week
SummerSlam
after.
'98. I've been to WrestleMania 20. I've been to the Royal Rumble 2000. I've been to SummerSlam 1991, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Bret Hart won the Intercontinental title from Mr. Perfect. But yeah, my question for you is, we're in WrestleMania season. I have 2 questions. We talked about Piper, and since you brought up Piper, I have to ask, just off of mic skills, promo skills, give me 4 guys who are on your Mount Rushmore that are 10 out of 10 promo.
10 out of 10 promo.
10 out of 10. Not a 9.5, not an 8, not a 9. 10 out of 10 promo, 4 guys.
Flair.
I knew it. Though I will say that you have to admit, particularly in WCW, Flair has had some promos where you have no idea what the fuck he's saying.
Yes, but
It's
you
like
gotta
he
gotta do it.
did a
You gotta
rail
do
and
it.
went
The whole
out
career.
sometimes.
NWA promos and AWA promos.
Bar none.
Still play them now on
touches
Instagram.
them.
Yeah, they are.
All
They're
the
like
time.
memes. Like they're ongoing memes.
Between him and Dusty, that you going
Yes,
back and forth.
Dusty would be number 2 for me, I'd say. Well, in no particular order, but
Yeah. These are
would
10
be
out
the
of 10.
next guy because like he drew you in.
Yeah.
If you watch some of the stuff from like when he first started, and he's such a baby face that these people like.
Hard
Dude,
times,
some
baby.
hot
Ric
women
Flair, you brought
were
hard
throwing
times in the
themselves
country
at him, and
when
he
you
was a
took
chubby
Dusty Rhodes
motherfucker.
down.
Yeah, he
So,
was
yo,
not
he's
like
out there
good
fucking
looking
killing it,
per se.
slaying all
Especially
these
when he
broads.
does a little ass shake
You
you
know,
know, at them. You know,
yeah,
that-
Dan-
My
Dancing,
belly's
doing
just a
the
little
kissy
big, my
face.
hand is just a little big, but let me tell you something, I am bad.
10 out of 10 going forward.
You got Flair, you got Rhodes.
Piper, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
And then I would have to say Stone Cold. Never seen a promo where he's never had the crowd.
Oh, yeah. What?
He's just got
From the time
believability.
he became
What?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, he had them in the palm of his hand. That's something so stupid as what?
Yeah.
That was a joke between him and the boys.
What?
Got over.
What?
And they're still, how many years
What?
later, still
What?
saying
I
what?
have a shirt that
What?
says
Pat
hard.
McAfee? What? Huh?
They were doing that to
What?
Logan Paul actually on the last episode he came out because he came out and just cut like this. He's great in the ring. I've been very impressed by him, but I just don't want to fucking see him. Truthfully, that's just my own opinion, and that's how a lot of fans feel right now.
Yeah.
And he was trying to cut a promo in the ring, and now they're turning him into a bad guy with this whole Seth Rollins feud.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd was just like not having it, and they
Eating
just
him alive.
they were giving him the
Yeah.
what, which they were doing that. Like, that was ruining shows.
They're
at a
giving
point.
them the what?
They kind of
Really?
stopped doing the.
That's
oh,
how they
yeah.
shout people down now?
Well, they were doing that for a long time.
It's amazing.
For like
great.
10
They were
years
killing
after.
Elias.
What?
They were killing Elias.
They-
Elias couldn't
Oh.
even get words out for songs.
What?
My name is
What?
Elias.
What?
All
What?
right, I want to do our GOAT conversation now that we're in the spirit of
Number
it.
4.
Oh, you said you had
Oh, wait, 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 wait,
Yeah,
wait.
it's top
You
10.
had 4 already.
No. It was.
Rhodes,
Rhodes.
Flair,
Oh, yeah, Stone Cold was 4.
Piper,
Yeah.
and 4. You have a
Rock is
fifth?
fucking up there.
Rock.
I would say Rock, and then behind
Macho
him
Man.
would be Foley.
Foley
Macho
on
Man.
fucking
promo,
hilarious.
really?
I don't know if
Foley
Macho Man's
gives
a
great
10, but
promos.
he's a 9. He's
He's
pretty.
a 9 WWF promos.
Yes.
Like
Also-
Mick Foley his entire career promos.
Mick Foley can, yes.
No,
He's got
agree
that
with
like pig
Well,
squeal.
in
Dude, the Kane Dewey promo when he talks about
I
the
have one more
anti-hardcore
guy
stuff.
who I would put on a list of 10. I know we said The Rock. The Rock is obvious. Another guy who
William
I would...
Regal.
CJ, right there, baby.
Jake,
That was great.
brother.
That was great, brother.
Oh yes, Jake. Dude, Jake is on that. You know, I would put Jake before The Rock.
You thump your
Just because
Bible.
of how,
He didn't have to scream to talk.
dude,
to,
it was
to get a,
dude, it was like the speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah.
He
Really?
showed you he had
I'm not familiar
the
with
biggest cock
the.
out there. With just dude, his facial expressions, you'd be like, holy.
It was so big he had to
I
carry
actually
the
got
bag.
the opportunity. I was face to face with Jake the Snake with Rob fucking last year.
Yeah, Jake the
That's right.
Snake
I got
is
that
the fucking
chance.
man.
Rob actually had gone to a con before he even became fucking the real life Peter Griffin. Knew I loved Jake Roberts and got Jake to sign something for me.
Rob's the man
Because
at that.
I will never.
Rob is
I
the
will
king
never,
of that shit, bro. He
I will
did that
never
for me.
go and meet a wrestler and be like, because like, I mean,
100%.
I can't do it.
I'm so
I
with
can't bring
you.
myself to be
Really,
a mark.
so with
there's
you.
nobody out there that you would want to, like, Stone Cold was out
Even
there,
with
you
Joe.
wouldn't
All right,
wanna
so
do
can I
couldn't
say,
do it.
Joe, when we went to go meet Bret Hart, so Rob's
tough.
dressed up.
It's
You
the
know,
second time I met him, but it was like 20 years later.
yeah, it's 20 years later. Rob's got the whole thing going. So they're treating us nice. Wrestling Universe was really cool.
Yeah, that's a
they let
great
me
place.
come in there.
It's an awesome
I didn't
place.
pay to get in. To be
That's
honest.
awesome.
So
Well, don't
they
forget,
let
I
me
was
film.
already there previously for Sergeant Slaughter dressed like Sarge.
Oh, that's true.
And
They
Sarge
were-
brought me in.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they
they
already
kinda
knew
have-
who I was by
That's
the time
true.
we did
He did a
Bret.
promo for them, and it's got like 4 million views on
Oh,
it.
I know.
Off the
I know.
cuff. we
I
just
told you when
strolled
I went
into
to
the
meet
store.
Mick Foley, I was like, yeah, I do a podcast. My friend Peter Griffin, like the Break Room podcast. I was like, yeah. Oh, what the fuck?
But it was great
Yeah,
because
they
man.
remember.
Rob.
You know, I was on Holy Foley, right?
Oh
Were
shit!
you?
When they were training his daughter.
Yeah.
A lot
Oh,
of
I
what
remember
you
you
don't
telling me this story.
see of the uncut stuff is me and Kane Lothbrot, who used to be Stockade, just clotheslining over and over. She eventually had a match with Willow Nightingale, who signed with AEW. She's a sweetheart. One of the best female wrestlers out there right now. They had one match, and I think that was like it for Foley's daughter.
I
She
wouldn't
has,
mind
like,
clotheslining her.
all sorts of
Yeah.
problems now. Yeah,
Concussion issues or something. I don't know.
So your
She's
fault,
a
CJ.
sweetheart, too,
She's
though.
got like an
She
ear,
seems very
a
nice.
permanent ear ringing now, or something like that. Maybe from one of your
Good job,
clotheslines.
CJ.
It's all CJ's fault.
Give her permanent.
I felt bad.
So her ears are
There's
still
my
ringing.
hero. He's sitting
And then
there
just assaulting his daughter.
clotheslining his daughter.
Did he tell you to not go easy on her?
Sure, you fucking give a shit.
I will talk to you about things with that. I'm not going to throw Mick under the bus. You know, he,
It's a big place to try it.
you know, everybody, you got to treat everybody like one of the boys.
Yeah. So I'm sure he
You're
wasn't.
a chick, you're one of the boys.
If you want to
You
try
know
to
what I'm saying?
wrestle, you're gonna wrestle.
I tell you, Rhea Ripley could roll me like an overstuffed burrito.
All right. Yeah.
She is an awesome
Nikita
wrestler.
love
Lyons.
her.
I'm all
I'm
about
in
it.
love.
I'm all about it. I'm
Both
all
of them.
about it.
She's
Vin,
a star.
finish your
Oh, yes, go
2
ahead.
cents.
Ah, fuck, I forgot.
Well, let me go to these
Bret Hart
comments here.
comments?
'cause
Oh, so all
we're
right.
still
So
getting-
anyway, it was unimportant just because Rob is just a great facilitator at helping you meet your heroes because he did it. Not that Joe wasn't going to meet Bret, but he like amplified the whole interaction.
The
It
situation,
He
yeah.
just brings it. Oh, my friend Joe fucking loves you. You know, he's pointing to Joe. Bret's looking like he's looking at Rob like,
He's
what
looking at
is
who's
this?
Joe?
Like, what is? Yeah, he's like, what is in front of me right now? Honestly,
bold,
like,
man.
because he's his own. He's bringing this whole level of entertainment to this little meet and greet.
Because
it's
Rob
a next
genuinely
level.
loves not only what he does, but he loves
Other
everything he's
people-
into and
And
other people.
getting off on.
Yes.
So he did the same for me with Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
That's
So
tremendous.
that paid off long term because he basically forced me to meet Jay because I was kind of just hanging back. I don't want to bother him.
Not
Sang
trying
the
to break
fuck
balls
song
on the
and
same
everything.
So Jay signs a photo for us, and I turn him. This is like what 2014, 15. I forget.
Yeah, this was
this is a while back.
was a
Anyway,
long time ago.
I said it would be so cool because it was a picture
15.
of Jay and Silent Bob from Clerks, black and white. They're standing in front of the Quick Stop.
I'm a huge fan.
So I go, dude, it would be so cool one day if we met Kevin Smith and I got this other part signed.
That's
Don't
sick.
you fucking know, last year we take the trip to Jersey, we go to the secret stash, we
Amazing.
meet Kevin Smith, they give us the extra treatment because it's Rob.
Yeah.
And I get to meet Kevin Smith. He's very cool with me. Signs this shit. Talks
Sign your
to
Dogma
me.
fucking DVD.
Saw my
amazing.
DVDs. So Rob is the ultimate facilitator at helping you meet your heroes.
That's a fact.
Shout out to Rob.
Shout out to Rob.
Chris, you want to go to the comments?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so back to the comments here.
Make a fucking thumbnail, too.
Real
It's like
Jacob is. I actually got on TV on camera because he's talking.
Oh
about,
yeah, you did. Was that the recent Raw?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. Well, it was at Madison Square Garden. They it's like a whole long story, but I pretty much got free tickets, and they were like second or third row. It was the closest I've ever been.
Were you
And-
with Shawn Michaels?
No, Shawn Michaels. No, I wasn't there. It was
Fuck Shawn Michaels.
no, no Shawn Michaels. I'm trying to think of who the
I've been
biggest.
waiting for Joe to say "fuck Shawn Michaels."
I want Shawn Michaels.
What?
I want him to reply.
There's
I want his
different
reply.
there's different factions out there. From the Dungeon said before, I wanted to make sure to mention this. He said that Triple H was just a placeholder champion. Just nonsense. Of
11.
course, but
Number 11. All time.
Tell me somebody that's
ultimate
more hated
jabroni.
than Triple H that didn't have an anti-America fucking gimmick.
Roddy Piper.
Tell me somebody that
Joe's,
okay.
don't
There's
look at me, bro. I'm out of my
Harley
depth.
Race.
I admit I'm
You want me
out
to
of
keep
depth.
going?
Come
That's
on.
why when I
That's
say
$1 Million
11,
Man.
it has
Come
no,
on.
like,
Ravishing
value.
Rick Rude. Honky Tonk Man had more
Vince.
heat than Triple H.
That's
Bull-
Big
that's
Man.
bullshit.
Vince
Triple H had fucking JR behind him. You son of a bitch! You son of a
But that
bitch!
was
You have no
all
conscience!
Joe, as
No,
Joe
but
said,
that's
that's part of
JR.
But JR was doing it for Triple H. That's
He's
all
helping
part
sell,
of
but
Triple H's
JR is
presentation.
part owner or whatever. I'm
job,
sorry.
man.
JR was like,
It's his
what
job
is he,
because he was
uh,
talent
who's an
relations,
announcer?
and that's
no,
one
but
of the
wasn't he
stars
like-
that JR
he was-
hired.
He was more than a commentator. He was like part of the
Well, it was talent
whole.
relations at the
Talent
time.
relations.
Sometimes.
So his whole job was bigging up the guys, bigging
Yeah.
up Triple H.
But that goes for every
sell the
fucking
show,
other
bro.
guy. Stone Cold, fucking The Rock. You guys are so quick
11.
to
Triple
take
H
away
was
the
the
things
top
of
10
Triple H.
I'm
I'm
and
not
fucking give back
diminishing
to all
what
the
he
other
did.
guys.
I call him number 11.
All of JR's,
good.
most of JR's best commentary, where he's calling
So that
somebody a
makes Triple
son
H
of a
better?
bitch. You have no conscience.
How does
You
that
have
make
no
him a better
soul. You know
wrestler?
what he's talking about?
That
Triple
man's
H.
got a family.
Talking about
So
Triple
wait,
H.
what was that? What was that video you sent us today? I watched some of it, but I was busy.
got-
It's,
he got really
it's
It was
the top
MJF was
four.
saying that Triple H deserves a spot in the Mount Rushmore.
No.
He's just trying to get into the WWE though. He's
Maybe.
not even in the WWE.
Maybe.
I can buy MJF
Maybe
saying
he
that,
goes,
hey,
maybe,
Triple H
'cause
is
that's
one of my
true as
favorites.
fuck.
Again, everybody
I would
has a
do it.
different flavor of ice cream they like. Owen Hart happens to be one of CJ's top 4 of all time. Owen Hart might not make a lot
All
of
right,
lists.
But that's my point.
that's
Is
his
I
list.
didn't
His
like
list is
Triple
top
four.
four.
I think
H. That's
it's-
where you're wrong.
In the
I didn't like Triple H.
overarching scope of things, if you're not talking about your favorites, if you're just talking about the business as a whole and the impact
Wasn't
you've
a favorite
had,
of mine.
Triple H is nowhere fucking near top 4.
Nonsense. You're just saying that because you're mad that he's fucking married to Stephanie, and you hold that
I'm
against
mad,
him.
but that's a fact.
That also
that
hurts-
happened
hurts
fucking
him.
While I have
all
CJ
the way through
here,
his
CJ,
career.
let me ask you a question. You know all the titles Triple H has won. He's a 12-time, 16-time, however many titles he's won. All the pay-per-views he's headlined, all the guys he's beaten and kind of buried, like the whole thing that, Cody Rhodes used to come out with a hammer and he used to break the throne because Triple H was like, burying all these guys and Cody called him the throne breaker. Hypothetically, this is just hypothetical. If Triple H and Stephanie never hooked up and he maybe stayed with China or whatever.
What, in 2003?
Whatever.
Yes.
Well into
Whatever.
his successful
No, he
career?
got with her in 1999. You're dumb. Shut up.
He didn't fucking officially get with her until like 2001
On
or something.
TV.
No.
It was on TV.
But I'm
No.
saying there was probably a relationship before
By,
on TV.
dude,
It budded from that.
1999, he was with her on television. What are you talking about? Late 98.
With her on
I
TV.
don't-
They were
yeah.
not together in real life
Yes, they
until a
were.
little bit into that.
They did that whole.
Yes, they were.
They
when
talked
drove
about
up
it.
to the fake marriage.
Well,
thing.
isn't
They
there a
married.
controversy
Yes.
around when him and China broke up and when
Yes.
him
You
and
just
Steph
watch.
started?
You could watch the China documentary that just aired on A&E. They talk about it in '99 anyway. Question: if he didn't marry Stephanie, what's his career look like?
Tyra Rising.
Who?
That was his
his
old
gimmick.
gimmick, yeah.
Oh, with the
Terrorizing.
long
No.
hair.
Elaborate on that.
He might be just the guy that has a bodybuilder look.
Yeah.
That was
Lex Luger.
a fairly
Come
decent
on.
worker.
Lex
But-
Luger.
Would
would've
not,
been a
Fucking
jabroni.
idiot.
would not have been facilitated in the spot that he was in.
Thank you.
Joe grabbed the snacks. He's loving it.
Disagree. I respectfully disagree. I think that there's a lot of hate on Triple H, and he was a bad guy,
Well,
so
dude,
he
you gotta
doesn't get
feed
any
off
credit.
Of that too. Like, you're in that situation, dude. He had the balls to go and do what he had to do, man.
Yeah. I don't
I don't
say
knock the
anyone can
motherfucker. I
begrudge him.
said
He's
he's number
married
11.
with
I don't think
children
he's
with the
top 10.
fucking lady.
I just don't think he's a top 10 all-time wrestler, and I'm a very loose, uneducated, stupid fucking observer.
Number one villain behind Vince McMahon during the
Number one
Attitude
villain.
during the Attitude Era.
Kurt Angle had more heat than Triple H. What are you talking about?
Different kind of heat.
That fucking promo where
I
he
think
says
him
that he likes
marrying
to touch
Stephanie
boys.
hurts his fucking...
Yes.
There was no one better in this business at making fun of themselves
Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt
when
is-
trying to be
Yeah,
so
actually,
serious than Kurt Angle.
Kurt's the
I
best.
do have
Tremendous.
a newer respect for Kurt Angle. I didn't
God,
have
he's amazing.
the respect that was deserved.
I
I've
put him
seen
at
a
number
few
He's
one.
the
things.
only wrestler to date that made you suck into a cheer.
I didn't know his struggles too. I didn't know his struggles. I didn't know he was so
man.
bad. I didn't know.
God, what
I
a-
didn't know he was
podcast is
friends with
great.
the Foxcatcher guys.
Yeah,
That
dude.
I didn't know that shit. I didn't know his story. I didn't
Yeah,
understand
dude.
him. And to come in
Wild.
here as like the anti Stone Cold, the anti Rock at that time, like Mr. Clean,
Straight edge, yeah.
That's like that takes balls. So yeah, I will
Dude.
give. Or Angle's
the
not
milk
I'll
truck.
never forget that
He
6-man
doesn't-
Hell in a Cell.
my top 10.
Oh,
But
That
Armageddon.
he walks away with the belt, and you're like,
Yeah.
out of all these guys, this
Rikishi, The Rock,
motherfucker,
Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, Stone Cold.
then.
And he wins.
Oh, so
okay,
good.
No problem.
so good. The Heat years later, like
It's
knowing
true,
as an
it's damn
adult,
true.
like how fucking amazing all that Heat was.
Yep.
It's genius.
I loved Kurt. I put him as my number one. I think that he was funny as fuck. He was intense when he needed to be.
I wish his career was longer.
It's not
I
even
love
that
him
it
so
wasn't
much.
that long.
I
It's
loved
that
him,
most
man.
of it was in
He'd be somebody
TNA,
to
and
be
we
cool to
missed
meet.
a lot of it.
well,
Dude,
listen,
see,
that's
I didn't miss
because
a lot. I didn't
of
miss
His
any of that.
matches with Samoa Joe,
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels alone was
Fantastic.
some of the fucking most amazing matches I've ever seen.
he must have helped bring some of those talents to the WWE because him being so talented, wrestling them in that venue brought
he had a part
their
in it, yeah.
stardom
Think
about.
about
Getting them.
But actually,
you
that's
guys remember the Royal Rumble?
when he tells Vince he's gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah. Do you remember the Royal Rumble? The pop that AJ
I never
got
said that.
when people fucking they knew but they didn't
Yeah.
know, and you hear that music because you don't know who the fuck it is. AJ walks out. That's a fucking Stone Cold pop right there, bro. That is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Based off of not saying that AJ Styles didn't work hard. All of his fucking sick ass matches that he had with Angle helped him get to that point.
From the Dungeon Podcast is asking. He's asking me, is Kurt Angle better than Shawn? I would say yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I love
Yes.
Kurt's my number one, man. I
Shawn
think
versus Angle at
was a great
WrestleMania
match.
21
Great
is one of my
match.
fucking favorite matches of all
It was a great
time.
match.
I can literally watch that match knowing who wins and still be on the edge of my seat thinking that
It's a great match.
one kick could fucking end that match. The build up to that match is one of the best build ups ever.
Yeah.
I'm
Fucking
just a
amazing.
sexy Kurt. I make your ankle hurt.
yeah, that's where that came from too.
And he gets Sherry. And he beats Marty Jannetty's ass.
So, just for context for you, Vin,
I'm
Kurt
lost.
Angle came out and made fun of Shawn Michaels during the promo leading into WrestleMania,
Ah,
and he
okay.
sang
We'll play it
Shawn
later.
Michaels' song
I'm a
"Sexy,
sexy-
Boy," and he changed the words as "I'm a sexy Kurt. I'll make your ankle hurt."
And he was 100%
Oh,
was
serious.
hilarious.
boy.
It was
just-
amazing.
Oh
it was
boy.
so good. YouTube that later. It's
I
really
remember one of my letdowns. This is when I was big into wrestling. Was the Y2K thing though? I know you said Jericho is one of the
Yes.
favorites. The Y2K buildup was over
funny. What
the
did you
top.
think it was going to be?
I didn't know
Y2J.
anything. I didn't know the competition. I didn't know shit. So as like just loving Stone Cold and watching Raw and watching those events based around that era when it was like the countdown to Y2K, I remember being hyped for it. And when they announced it, I was like, the fuck is this, bro?
Yeah.
It was
But
just
that made you hate
overhyped.
him,
No,
right?
that was huge.
That made you hate him,
I
right?
guess, yeah, maybe that's
Because
part
like,
of it.
if
Maybe
you
that
were
was part of
watching
it.
WCW,
He did come out with that
throughout,
arrogance
He
of-
was doing this like whole conspiracy theory thing,
Yeah.
which is fucking amazing. And like, dude, for Jericho to consistently reinvent himself year
Y2J.
after year, to being a babyface to being a
Wait.
heel,
Chris had
his
an
run in
opinion.
Japan was fucking phenomenal.
I saw the face before.
Oh well, I
You
just
said
think
he's
in the
helping with the
only in the
talent.
last
Chris hates
year or
AEW.
two. I don't hate AEW.
Does he not,
I'm
Joe?
disappointed with AEW.
Joe.
I wanted to like it.
Oh,
Do you feel it's WCW 2.0?
so
Not even.
so
I
you
don't
think
think it's even
Jericho's
anywhere
not-
near where WCW was. I think
Wow.
like they're de facto number 2 because they just started up and they have a lot of funding. But I don't,
Tony.
know, I'm like,
fucking New York.
I don't know, man. The
North Carolina
last,
Panthers.
here's the thing too. What
Jaguars?
really did it in for AEW for me was I remember spending like the fucking $50 or $60 for the pay per view. You're gonna know where I'm going with this. The exploding barbed wire death match.
Yeah.
And I was so looking forward to that. And to ask fans now because they don't have the app, or maybe they do have a subscription
The
service
Fight
now.
app?
Do they
Is
do
that
the
what it
fight
is?
app now?
I think
So
that's
maybe,
what that is.
That's that's cheap though. If it's $5 or $10 a month, like Peacock is $10-15 a month, but to pay $50 or $60 for pay-per-view is a lot to ask.
Yeah.
And with
No,
that
I do
match,
4 a year, and I get it.
you remember what ended up happening in that match, right? They fucking at
They
the
shit
very
the bed.
yeah, it shit the bed. They had a giant explosion that was supposed to kill everyone. It was like firecrackers,
Yeah.
and the fact that
Like
but
Gilbert fireworks.
so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I saw it.
But what really
No,
made
I
me
watched it
pissed
live.
off and stop watching
met
wasn't even that
Gilbert.
the fireworks weren't good. It was that they, in the moment, didn't adjust, and fucking Eddie Kingston sold it like he was dead. If they were smart, they should have pivoted and be like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad," and like
Oh, you wanted them to make a joke
at least
out of it
it was
almost.
like he dove on him to protect him, and he didn't die, but he still dove on him to protect him, not knowing that the fire.
Kind of like a light comedy situation.
So the
I
point
understand
would
what
have
you're
been
saying.
proven that he dove on his friend to save him, and they wouldn't sell it like these firecrackers fucking killed him.
Dude,
And I
sometimes
just couldn't do it
shit
after that.
happens.
You gotta
Fuck
go.
up and the
you-
whole company's terrible, right, Chris?
But at the same
It
time,
has been unwatchable.
What?
again, it goes to what's your flavor of ice cream? Do you like the over the top MJF heel?
I like
That's gonna
vanilla with
draw
rainbow
you to,
sprinkles.
you know,
Half baked.
Do
Although
you,
the sauce
do
is
you
William
like,
Regal?
Do you like
William
the
Regal.
Is that the William
badass
Regal
in-
special?
in
Vanilla sprinkles?
Moxley? Do you
William
like
Regal's
the,
like caramel
the
apricot.
underdog fighting from underneath
Nobody wants that.
in Jungle Boy?
Can I ask you this? How is John Moxley any different than Dean Ambrose?
Are you fucking dumb?
This is getting
How is
in the
he
weeds.
any
I don't know.
different than
Are
he's
you-
the
Rob,
same
me
fucking
and Rob
guy?
are like-
He just is a little bit more hardcore now.
A little bit more hardcore.
To a
Got no
degree.
opinion. One way
He
or the
never
other.
bled in WWE.
In WWE,
Didn't
they
even bleed
wanted.
once. Nothing.
But that's all it is. He
have,
fucking bleeds.
All right, so hey, listen. I know you guys know exactly what you're talking about. I'm a little bit out of the loop, but I will ask. I know there's some like, what did you read off today? There's some kind of post from CW Punk or
CW Punk?
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, CW Post.
CW
Yeah,
Punk.
CM
Wow.
Punk.
CW
I'm
Anderson.
telling you, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Punk.
So CM Punk said what today? What is this whole leaked
It was like
message,
yesterday or the
tweet?
day before, but
Did you hear about this? You must have heard about this.
There was a
No,
whole.
actually.
Okay.
You didn't hear about this?
All right, here we go.
Oh, so there
I
was
have
all,
a newborn, so
It's got a real life. Shout
Shout out
out.
to
Daddy
baby
Club,
Luca.
brother.
yeah.
Luca Bambino,
And I
baby.
he's gonna
hope
do the
your
work.
first child is a
Hey!
masculine child. No, so there was a big squabble at the AEW press conference where CM Punk talked some shit, and they went to his locker room, and then they ended up fighting, and he's been off TV ever since, right?
Yes.
So Dave Meltzer reported that CM Punk wanted to come back to
Okay.
AEW. And then CM Punk put out a post on his Instagram. It was like a story, which he then ended up deleting, and it pretty much said that Meltzer's a liar, John Moxley's a liar, Jericho's a liar and a stooge.
Okay.
And he said
Stooge?
that they wanted him essentially to go out and wrestle a squash match where he was going to just get wrecked by Moxley, even though he was injured and not cleared. And apparently
Poor you.
their reasoning was,
All
well,
the big nothing.
it's just a squash match, so you can just go out there and get beat quick. But CM Punk's point is that he wasn't medically cleared, and they were making him go out there injured.
They did it anyway.
And also, Moxley, he said, refused to lose to him. And he said, "I've never had anyone tell me that they
Sounds like the
refused to
NBA.
lose to me."
And look
So,
at Cody,
some
who fucking
politics
wrestled
shit
with
CJ,
the
with
while
purple
we
flag.
have you here, what are your full, unbiased thoughts on CM Punk? How to do it.
That's fine. That's perfect.
CM Punk.
I hope we can stick with that.
Give me your,
CW Punk.
Post.
CW
Yeah,
Punk.
CW Punk, bro. Yeah.
I feel like he's extremely misunderstood with a lot of shit.
It's like Aaron Rodgers.
He's the type of guy that I feel wants to help a lot of the young guys. And I feel he facilitated this whole movement of like some change
Right.
when it comes to some stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, the way that the world is now, without getting super political, some people are cunty
Yeah.
It's good.
and can't handle other people's success, or the fact that when other people bring more to the table than
Right.
them,
More eyeballs on the
it
product.
aggravates.
Like who?
Ooh,
not
you-
gonna
what are you, a
say-
fucking
And
owl?
Well, you don't mean the Young Bucks.
Sorry.
Because the Young
We're
Bucks are
saying,
losing
it's
ratings
just
right now.
We're talking about CM Punk. When CM Punk came to AEW,
Who did CM Punk get into a
he-
backstage fight with?
I'm not saying
So
that.
is
I'm
he
not
a-
saying
get
that.
into a backstage fight
he
with?
viewed as a prima donna or not? I don't.
He is, but at the same time, like, I don't
Is
know
he
this
wrong?
guy.
You know.
But at the same time, like, I don't know the Young Bucks. I've been in a locker room with them once. Nice guys. But like, We don't know what happened behind closed doors.
Right.
I think it was all work.
You know what I'm saying? It
not a
could
work.
be. Who
So
knows?
So he's kind of airing out the
Why wasn't he released?
behind-the-scenes
There
shit
are
a little.
some people that
And I
will
know-
go out of their way to make what happens behind closed doors.
It's supposed to be part of the.
That don't work for me, brother.
Wait, yeah. Listen, what is that called? What do we call that? That
Shoot.
well, when you're part of the
Personal
the-
issues draw money. Is
Yes, but at the
Well,
same
the WWE was always good at
At the same
threading
time,
the
how far
needle,
you take it.
threading the needle, right?
How far are you able to
Depends
take
on how
it?
much you're paying them.
And at the same time, when it goes to certain things, like I said, some people are cunty and can't handle the fact that someone else draws more money than them,
Yeah.
sells more merchandise than them.
Yeah. And one
You,
night
you may not like someone because of a certain situation that happened with someone else. Like, yo, you might not have liked me before we became friends because Joe fucking Blow, who you
Right.
went to high school with, was like, oh, CJ was a fucking asshole to me back then.
Right.
And I never even fucking said
Yeah.
two words to the motherfucker.
Yeah,
You see
it's
what I'm
telephone,
saying?
telephone a friend.
Exactly.
So
That's all
also
it
with
is.
these things, these both organizations seem structured in a way where the power's to one person. Tony, what's his?
Khan.
Tony Khan is the center of power when it comes to AEW. Vince
And ROH,
McMahon,
yes.
or not the McMahons, are the center of power. Do these organizations work without those centers of power dictating like a lot of this shit? Because like
No, they
For the-
don't. They
for
don't
the
work.
most part, you gotta.
they
think
don't work
about-
with or without.
They
Sorry.
don't work when you don't have a one vision mentality person.
I agree.
When
And a
there's-
perfect example of that is WCW. They crumbled because they had a rotating door of bosses. 1 month it's this, 1 year it's Bischoff, next it's
You also
Russo,
got to look at
next
who
it's this
they
person.
keep
It just
in their cabinet of like the people that help book, the people that bring the talent.
That's
in,
also very
the
true.
people
The
that
JRs.
want to put
Relations.
stuff together. Yeah, it could be JR, it could be John Laurinaitis, it could be
Sure.
whoever the fuck.
right.
But you know, just because
Talent
one person
and
doesn't
chemistry.
like you, I've heard where
That's
there
true.
was an old trainer, Bill DeMont. If he fucking hated you when you were
Yeah.
in
Oh, yeah,
FCW,
Yeah.
you
Hugh Morris, yeah.
yeah, Hugh Morris, whatever, you know.
What? Hugh Morris.
What? Your name is Hugh
weren't-
Morris?
You weren't
What?
doing much if he didn't like you, supposedly.
Yeah,
But you know, like these are different
I get it.
cogs in the wheel that
get it.
it gets to. Oh, you know, if Michael Hayes was like, you know, fuck this
Yeah.
fucking kid, let's throw a fucking dress on him
Yeah.
and let him fucking dance around because you
Yeah.
know he wants to be big bad Italian, but let's make him a fucking whatever the fuck. There I am in a fucking dress, like just because
And
Michael
that-
Hayes wanted me to
and,
fucking.
and case
I
in
see.
point, that's what
See
happened
what
to
I'm
Cody,
saying?
and,
Okay.
and that's a great example of what happened to Cody Rhodes.
Cody is the guy that
Cody Rhodes had
built his own way.
Had a great talent. He obviously came from good stock.
one of the best in the world right now.
100%.
I
cannot
mean,
wait for
he-
Him
Yes.
leaving and betting on himself.
Yeah,
Meant
was the best thing he could have done.
it's drawing me back because these guys have, we've been talking about this for a
let's
year.
kind of go there, and then I know CJ's on a time crunch because he's got a little.
He wants
little
to stay
chicken.
big.
We can
Can't
go
home.
another 15 half hours.
That's
Sorry.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashley. I love you.
Yeah.
No, let him
30 out of
listen. Baby is more important, you know.
Baby
There'll be
is
plenty
better.
of nights where we'll be able to do this. Hopefully,
I don't
you
know about
again.
that, but
Yeah.
this is the first
But
year
you
and
want
a
to
half,
talk
baby.
WrestleMania?
I want to talk WrestleMania.
Yeah.
How excited are you? I know last
Cody.
year you came over, we watched WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We were all excited for Austin more than
Oh, yeah.
anything else, and that was great.
Yeah.
I said this a couple weeks ago. I said, I think this is the most important and the most invested I've been at a main event title match on a WrestleMania card in probably 2 decades.
Can I
Yes.
guess why?
Yeah.
Go.
You feel like you're a part of Cody's chase.
100%.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yep.
Cheers to that.
100%.
Hey, listen.
If someone can draw you in
100%.
and make you feel that you're a part of everything that motherfucker went through, that motherfucker's money.
Yes, I agree.
Roman Reigns became one of the baddest fucking dudes. Whether people like him or hate him, you have to respect the fact that that motherfucker really went through it as he's the next Cena. They're shoving him down our throats,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then he turns and does what
Thank
essentially everyone wanted him to do,
Yeah.
and he shits
Well, hold on.
everybody.
Not even
Hard
just
heel.
that. He first left with leukemia,
Yeah.
which made a lot of people be like, "Oh wow,
Wow,
like,
he had
you
leukemia.
know,
That's
He
sad.
came back,
Now-
they still
oh, yeah,
booed him. It was hilarious.
He went away from the ring. He did
It
a
made him-
whole announcement. He said, "My name's
huge
not Roman.
baby
My
face.
name is Joe.
My name is Joe,
You
yeah.
know, I'm
Really?
a regular guy. I have leukemia. I got to step away." And
Yeah.
he was gone for like a year, maybe.
Oh shit.
And that was the thing is
He
everybody
came
was
back
kind of
during, like,
at
the
that point.
pandemic too, when there were no crowds and stuff like
Tough.
that.
Tough
true.
time to come back.
Everybody at that point was kind of sick of him because of what you said. He was getting jammed down their throats.
I
and
will
that
say
almost
the
made people
Bloodline
relate to
storyline
him.
is the best storytelling WWE has done in 2 decades as well.
Yeah.
That's
And
been
if,
interesting.
and if they
with
would have
the-
ran with Sami Zayn being the fucking underdog that fights from underneath to fucking win the title, instead of pivoting to Cody, I would have been okay with that too.
I would have been perfectly.
I
okay
almost
with that.
think
Yeah.
the Cody winning.
But the thing I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, not at
the
all.
thing with wrestling, dirt sheets piss me off because everyone wants to be surprised. The element of surprise is gone.
Yes.
This is why I
Tell
don't
me-
give a shit about the internet when it comes to wrestling.
there you go.
Somewhat.
Said dirt sheets, right? What's
Somewhat.
that?
It depends on.
Rumors?
But if
like,
you're a diehard fan and it doesn't matter to
Yeah.
you, cool. But there's some people that they're like, oh, wrestling's so predictable. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Fuck
but you
you.
look
up
Just
the
enjoy
results.
it.
It's
Because if you
sometimes
didn't know
that's
what
what
was
people
going to
want.
happen, you'd be like, oh fuck.
we all called Cody Rhodes last year, who's going to be the surprise
That's the
for Seth Rollins.
problem, right?
We called it, but until I saw it, I almost you suspending your disbelief for a little bit. It's
And-
like, oh, it's not going to be Cody,
and-
then it's Cody, and he comes out, and it's just that much more involved.
Would you
Cody-
have been more shocked if nothing leaked at all about it?
Not only that though, but Cody got injured.
Because you would have been like,
course.
oh fuck.
Of course,
I didn't. I mean, I didn't know, and I'm like, just like I said, jumping in kind of late and enjoying it for what it is, and it was awesome because he was fucking hyper athletic. He was big. He had like this presence. You're like, oh shit, this is cool.
He showed that he was like living
And I
in
know
the
nothing.
moment too.
Yeah, I know nothing.
it's hard to shock you.
And you could
anymore,
tell
though.
that he was
So-
enjoying it. When,
no,
you know,
well,
there's
well,
people
here's
that
the thing
do
with
the
Cody
job 'cause
too.
it's the
Problem
job.
for Cody is he gets injured.
Yes.
It takes him out of the whole game. So my
But
question
that
now
adds
One of
to
the
this
best
story.
things.
That's
But
one
now-
of the
but
best
now-
story.
that could have happened.
But
to
the
him.
question is it a coronation? And will the audience accept the coronation?
Yeah.
Because you said we're along for the ride. So we know it's going to happen, right? We haven't even paid for it or whatever. It's happening this week.
You have
Sunday.
to, but it goes like this.
Also, will it happen
it's
Saturday or
how
Sunday?
they do it.
Right.
I agree. I was just going to say that.
Whatever.
I think they'll accept the win if he better win on Sunday.
What if it's a awkward DQ, some
Nah, he's
stupid
gotta win
thing?
clean.
I
You
don't think they
it's
would
clean?
Dusty finish.
No, he's got to win clean.
You don't
So
think? Okay.
My thing is, I
I
think
feel like
the
they would've
audience would accept him winning, but will they accept him as a reigning champion?
Right.
Where do they go
And then
from?
don't
Where
they
do they
want
go from
Roman-
there?
Don't
is
they
it,
want-
Is it
you
just
know,
about the chase,
Yeah.
or is it about him being
But don't they
Nailed it.
want Roman to have this fucking like there's some kind
The
of
Rock?
No,
record,
beat the
Isn't there a
record.
Isn't
He'll never
Roman-
beat the
He
record.
doesn't need to.
Oh,
He's-
he
he's
is
already
the
gotten
longest
far
reigning
enough
champion?
into it.
No.
It won't
I
make a
don't know.
difference.
He's the longest-
again,
He's the longest reigning Universal champion. There are records in terms of like the
who
top
Bruno
four.
is like the
Yeah,
one.
no one's ever going to
No one's touching
30
Bruno.
years,
No one's
whatever.
touching Bob Backlund. He's not going to reach Hulk Hogan's. The next one on the list
He
was
beat-
Pedro Morales, which really
He beat
you don't
Punk's
even-
I see what
Nobody's
you
gonna
mean, and
care.
so
He
it's
did.
inconsequential.
Most people
in a
don't know who
sense.
Pedro Morales was, but
Okay.
he was a really
He's a
quality wrestler in the
old territory guy,
1970s.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not important for him to beat
All
Pedro
right.
Morales. So,
So here's
he's
the
top
question.
5, reigning. It's all you need.
Cody's the champ. Where do we go from here? Who's the
Solo
competition of
Sikoa
Cody?
is like the immediate, like de facto, probably challenge for him. Post WrestleMania, post Roman Reigns, and then there's a lot of ways that you can kind of go from there. I mean, you can
Sami
bring in AJ
Zayn.
Styles. You
I
can
would
bring
turn
in
Sami
KO.
Zayn heel.
You
Yeah,
can bring
right,
Finn
right.
Balor
I
in
think
there.
that's-
I
I
see
mean,
it
there's a
being
lot
KO.
of
The
like
bloodline
I would say Gunter would be
controversies.
an awesome
Gunter.
competitor for Cody Rhodes. I think he's really moved up a lot. So they have
There's
the
some
talent
setup to it.
They have
Very
it.
good.
If Triple
okay.
H
It's
never
curious.
got hurt,
Yeah,
I
that
would
was
not
a
drink
dream.
Because to
God, that
Chris's
would've
point
been a
about
great
Triple
match.
H, you need a good heel.
There's
If you got
talks
a
of
great
Jay
face,
White coming out as a free agent, that would be a great segue to the Bullet Club. Who's the head of the Bullet Club? Jay White, Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, like all 4 major heads of the Bullet Club
but then
would be at the
WWE having to piggyback off of New Japan, I don't think they would do it.
I mean, stranger things have happened in terms of like when Cody came out and he won the Royal
He's
Rumble.
gotta have quality
He went
opponents.
like this.
are they going to
this.
bring Punk, CM Punk and all this AEW shit? Are they
I don't
ever
think
gonna
Punk
bring
will
any of
ever.
that
I think
back?
Punk is done with
They don't
wrestling.
need that.
He's putting himself.
Well,
in
wasn't
such
he
a,
big in the WWE before
He
he
was.
left?
He did a
I-
very good promo.
Untouchable.
I only say it because, again, loose observer.
Did a
But
very- he did
if you were to
very
bring
good
him back,
I'll
does
give
he
you
compete?
my perspective on Punk. Like during, I would say post 2004, and 2004 ironically was WrestleMania 20 that I was in front row for. For me, I think
You said
pro wrestling
2004?
2004.
It's like 20 years ago. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
19 years ago. So for
fucking
me,
hurts.
pro wrestling kind of lost its luster after that year. The next year, you had John Cena and Batista as your champions.
Yeah.
I just didn't buy it. I just wasn't bought into it. You moved into the post Attitude Era
PG,
into like a kind of
It wasn't
ruthless
Stock
aggression
market,
era.
quarterly
2010.
report, WWE.
Yeah, let me finish.
Sorry.
Jesus. And then this guy.
Give him the floor.
And then, you know, you segue into like 05 into like maybe 2010, and it's all Cena. And the crowd is just hating every fucking minute of it. And I did go to One Night Stand 2006. I was also at One Night Stand 2005. But the RVD John Cena match is what brought me back into wrestling. But it was a niche thing for ECW for a little bit of time.
Because you felt connected to that.
I had to go.
Yeah.
I've been
a
to every
Hammerstein
single
Ballroom, New
ECW
York
show. There's
City.
no way I'm
Amazing.
not going for the rebirth of ECW. And then they fucking killed it. Like, they had it on Sci-Fi. They had a fucking vampire and a pirate and this fucking shit. And then Vince McMahon wins the ECW title. And then the Big Show
the
wins the
do-rag.
ECW title. It
Oh
was
my
fucking
God.
atrocious. It was
Oh my
Elijah
God.
Burke. That, to me,
What?
was the death of wrestling.
Well, they tried
I-
to turn it into a developmental
After
territory.
2006, I wanted nothing to do with pro wrestling. As someone who's been watching it since I'm fucking 4 years old.
80s, yeah.
Did Punk draw you back in, though?
Punk drew me back in 2011 with the promo.
Because he was different.
He was different, but he was also saying the things that I was saying of why I don't want to watch anymore.
Yes.
So that brought me back to watching.
The
And then The
problem
Rock
is
came out,
he kept
you
singing
know,
the
a year
same
later
song.
and you know, draw me back in again.
Trying
So
to
if not
help,
for those things, I don't know if I would be sitting here talking about pro wrestling anymore. To be honest.
So he has credibility with the wrestling fans, let's say, right? I don't know.
He
I mean,
called
He went to
himself the
UFC and
voice
got
of
his
the
ass beat. I think he
voiceless.
lost his credibility.
so Chris says he lost his
That's
credibility.
I
credibility.
think that
in like a
my
fight, not with
impression,
fans. What are you
my
talking about?
impression, if I can get a word in edgewise, you fucking prick. Fucking, my impression is that he's the guy at work that
Welcome
like
to the show.
says some things that you want him to say, but then like 2 or 3 years of working with him, and all he's doing is fucking bitching, and you know, just like he's
Hey,
like
listen.
that disgruntled coworker that you love, but it's like fucking you also kind of fucking hate them. That's how I kind of feel about him.
guy
And
sounds like Aaron
when he went into
Rodgers
AEW, everybody's like, "Yeah, she's going to AEW," and look what ended up happening. The same shit, where he's gonna take his ball and go home, and maybe he's partially right. I don't know what the fuck happened. Again, I think it's partially
Shit.
at work.
In my opinion,
opinion.
I think again, observing, controversial, right? That's good.
Definitely controversial.
Hyper controversial.
Good wrestler.
He's a good wrestler.
I've never seen
He-
Punk have a bad match.
He's from AEW. Cody's not from AEW,
His
but
last
I'm
couple
just
matches
saying, you know,
easy.
they're in that same
The
ilk.
Hangman Page match.
Do
where
Cody and
broke his
CM
foot.
Oh, it's-
Punk have history?
Yeah.
Is there history?
Cody and CM Punk?
Cody and
no.
CM Punk. Really?
no,
There's
to a degree.
nothing.
Not, I mean,
They like each
not-
other.
When-
Cody
Well,
said I
that's
like
fine. That's fine.
WWE,
But
First starting as Orton's underling.
Yeah, dashing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, they had wrestled a handful full of times.
There was, I mean,
They crossed paths, but
you
they
can,
didn't
you
have
can
like
make
a
story in pro wrestling. Out of
of
anything.
course,
nemesis
listen,
type
I'm
dynamic.
throwing fucking
Yeah.
little shit out there, but
dogs at the
is
bottom.
it possible?
Is the
Because
past. He's the past. I want the future. Let's.
No,
I
Seth
want,
Rollins already came out and said we don't want him here.
So what everybody
think
wants
that- I
is
think he
Cody
was
Rhodes
working.
versus CJ Bambino.
Yes.
First
There
there we go.
round.
Let's do it.
we would all pay to watch that.
I'd be there
So
front
pivoting
row.
to
The Italian Nightmare.
the WrestleMania conversation, I kind of want to close it out with this. We talked about your Mount Rushmore. We talked about like your promos, who you felt is the best. WrestleMania season. Give me your greatest WrestleMania of all time. And I have a second question to follow up with that. Actually, let's go around
got
the
some
room and
questions,
let's
too.
start with CJ. Greatest WrestleMania of all time, and we're at WrestleMania 39. So you have a choice of 39 WrestleManias, but you can only pick one. Actually, let me rephrase this. Just for you. When your kid is old enough, what's the first WrestleMania you're going to sit and watch with him?
Ooh, let's go.
Macho Man Steamboat
WrestleMania 3.
is probably my favorite WrestleMania.
I didn't think you were going to go there. That's
I
great.
was actually going to say
That is a great-
WrestleMania
that is
3
a
is
great
my
choice.
favorite too.
Just the build of that whole show
Starting him young and give him,
and that whole match is just holy shit.
timeless.
Yeah, it's timeless. And to have Steamboat, who was the ultimate babyface at the time, really, really dig. That's a Rocky story.
Love that. Vin, I know you don't have this huge, encyclopedia of, but if you can put together a match, I can maybe kind of tell you what Mania that was from. So, out of your memories, like what sticks out to you in terms of you could say a match, but I'll tell you what Mania that was
the
from.
ones that I would have definitely rented pay-per-view old school.
So you've actually spent money on pay-per-views?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it was a battle with my mother about that shit. So $65 in pay-per-view. Mom wasn't happy about
No,
that shit.
$65 is not. You
She
should have had
didn't
the
like
hot box.
wrestling, the
Gotta get
whole
the hot
thing.
box,
She
bro.
thought it was such bullshit, blah, blah, blah.
Every Italian household gets a hot box.
So, I know, yeah, right? I live in fucking,
Little black box in the basement.
Massachusetts at the time.
Don't tell nobody
The
about
red-
this.
The red
So,
button.
you know, my mind goes to whenever Stone Cold and The Rock were
Yes.
at the
Okay.
peak. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Well,
when
they
that
were
was
multiple.
at its absolute Monday
Yeah.
Night Raw and SmackDown were all
So
centered
there's three.
around
There's
this.
3 main years that headlined with The Rock and Austin.
1999
1999 WrestleMania 15.
99 to
2001, which is 2 years later, WrestleMania 17, and 2003, 2 years later, again at Wrestlemania 19. So
Shit,
Kurt
even
versus Brock
That
is
match
the main
is
event for that.
tremendous.
I'll say
third
9/11
Third one.
is kind of like one of those marking points where
okay,
wrestling
yeah.
had started to fade. I
Yeah.
think at that point,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I don't. It just happens to be in my mind. Like I remember reaching that age and all those events, and then wrestling just didn't quite have the same impact. And as Stone Cold and The Rock moved on, I remember when The Rock
Winding
started
it down,
doing
yeah.
Walking Tall and
Yeah.
these other movies, and
Yeah.
there was just other things going on. The Stone Cold was in like The Longest Yard. It just changed, and I think that's when I
That's how a
dropped
white
off.
man runs a football.
That's a great fucking movie. Adam Sandler fucking killed. That was a
I mean, Kevin Nash.
Burt
is fucking
Reynolds remake,
hysterical
by the
in that.
way. That's a great Burt Reynolds remake.
Second match I would show Luca. Hogan Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, great one.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior
Then
sprinting to the
I would
ring.
go Austin and actually no.
How are those promos?
Third match it would be WrestleMania 10. Owen and
Brett. Greatest opening match of all time. still
Love
in my
that
eyes.
fucking match.
Yeah.
And then I would go to
That was probably
one of the Austin Rollins.
It was
They-
also at
they've
WrestleMania
been
10, but
wrestling
not the front
since-
row.
Come on,
Really?
those guys were wrestling since they were kids. They were doing that shit since they were fucking
That's
little
why that
kids.
storyline was
They could
fucking
read
tremendous.
each other. I'm sure that was
That, like,
beyond
I'm the little
telepathic.
brother that got overshadowed because of you. You think that fucking you're the man and blah
Brett
blah blah. It's my
over
time.
Owen?
Mom and dad are
So
gonna
let-
love me more than you. I fucking love that.
Let me
fucking
tell you the storyline.
I-
So
yeah,
the storyline.
I'd love to hear
You
it.
gotta
Let's
watch
go.
that match.
Let's go.
Real
I'll-
quick,
I'll
the
watch it.
storyline with Owen and Bret in '94. Owen Hart comes in and he's kind of like a part of the family, and Bret Hart is at the top of the world. He's the face of the company. He's the world's champion. So Owen Hart obviously rebels and feels like he's kicked under the whatever, and he's the youngest
slighted.
kid,
Right,
and
he's
he's slighted, whatever. So
Little bro.
they have
Tired of getting noogies. It's
they
over.
have a family match against Jerry the King
doesn't wanna play
Lawler
as Luigi
at
anymore.
Survivor
Really?
He
Series.
doesn't want the job.
It's like all the Hearts versus the King and his knights or whatever it was, and the finish of the match, Owen Hart. Bret Hart's on the apron, and Owen Hart comes and hits the ropes, and Bret Hart catapults into the guardrail, and Owen Hart gets pinned by the King. And he, actually, no, it was Shawn Michaels in Knights because the King got hurt that day. So Owen Hart was the only Hart eliminated in that match.
Oh, okay.
And it made
okay.
him feel like even worse that all his older brothers who aren't even wrestlers anymore,
No,
or they
he
won and
won.
they're raising
Yeah.
their hands.
Damn.
Then you fast forward, they finally reconciled and they tagged up at the Royal Rumble, and Bret Hart almost cost them the match and they lost. And then Bret had to actually go on later that night to compete in the Royal Rumble itself, and Owen Hart, instead of hugging Bret, kicked his knee and shattered his knee, according to the storyline.
Okay, gotcha.
And then fast forward, Bret Hart gets it to the Royal Rumble. He's hobbling. He's on one knee. And he winds up winning the Royal Rumble with a tie with Lex Luger. And now he has a shot at the world title at WrestleMania.
Nice.
The Rumble winner gets a shot at the champion. The champion at the time is Yokozuna. But the caveat, because 1994 Royal Rumble was two winners, was the first time and the only time they've ever had two winners. Lex Luger and Bret Hart both went over the top rope at the same time.
Touched
and their
the same
feet
time.
touched exactly
I've seen
the same
the
time.
replay slow mo.
Yep.
They like oh,
So
wow,
they both
did
got
that.
a shot.
You mean like Cena Batista?
They
Then they
went
had a
in.
coin toss. If you lost a coin toss, you had to wrestle first, and then you would wrestle the main event against whoever would go against Yokozuna. And Bret Hart had to wrestle Owen Hart in the
Nice.
opening match of WrestleMania 10, and he lost.
And then he
Bret
ends
Hart
up winning
lost?
the belt
Owen
later in
Hart
the night.
beat him.
and still
That's
overshadows his
And
brother.
then at the end of the night, Bret beats Yoko, becomes a champion, and Owen's sitting there going,
Ah,
I mean,
nice.
storytelling at its
Very nice.
finest.
Very
Cannot
nice.
top that.
Wow, that's fucking
So,
funny.
Chris,
dude.
how about you? Greatest WrestleMania of all time?
That's tough.
Don't
man,
say
'cause
William Regal versus Tajiri.
That was one.
You miserable little Torag.
A great on-screen pairing.
They were amazing.
They were
Tajiri is
classic.
actually one of my dream matches.
Oh my
not gonna
god,
lie.
he was
He's amazing.
And the fact that Tajiri could get so over with like facial expressions
Oh,
more
yeah.
than anything, Tajiri is great.
Phenomenal.
No, I mean there's a couple that come to mind.
You can only pick one.
I'm picking one, but it's definitely tied with several others. It's tough. I mean, my first thing would be WrestleMania 17 because you had Hogan versus Rock. My brother was there. That was in Toronto, right?
That's where the belt comes from.
WrestleMania
Where my belt,
17,
which is
yeah.
at home right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it, but my hands are full.
That's it.
That's actually right before they retired the WWF Championship because they ended up doing the undisputed belt shortly after that. But I would say we've already talked about that so many times.
Yeah.
My
We have a whole
next
new
runner-up-
audience, baby. We're cutting in on 1,000.
I don't want to talk about that.
subscribers.
I want to talk about
Thank you,
WrestleMania,
everybody. Thank you.
WrestleMania
Thank you.
14,
It's like
which
huge.
the main event to that was Austin
We had
versus
100
Shawn
subscribers
Michaels.
back then.
Mike Tyson is just
Well, we talked about like
Mike
2 or
Tyson
3
is
weeks
special
ago.
guest referee.
Austin versus Shawn Michaels, Mike Tyson as the enforcer. I just remember that having like this big fight feel where like
Did.
we were all in the living room,
Yeah, it did.
like as a family watching it together. Tyson ends up fucking over Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels actually went away after that for like several
God.
years because his back was fucked up.
I broke my back. My back is broken.
Fucking
Spinal.
guy.
Spinal.
Spinal.
It's
fucking
fine.
guy.
My shit is broken.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean that's it. It was a great match.
Chris
I
doesn't
lost
even
it.
want to
I
go.
lost
It is a
it.
good match.
You killed it. You
Yeah.
killed it, Joe.
See, Joe
Cocksucker.
It wasn't a
smothered
good match.
Chris's-
It was a shit match.
was a great
And
match.
Even Shawn Michaels
The
will tell you it was a shit
swerve
match.
in that was great. And again, I was a kid, so I didn't give a fuck about a good technical match. I just remember Mike Tyson turning on
Only gets
DX.
personal.
This is why I'm on this show.
Yes, it's so funny.
I fucking hate Shawn Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels.
Oh, Sean. How can you deny Shawn Michaels' ability to create the
We're gonna have
heel?
Shawn Michaels on the show.
Shawn Michaels is the
Remember when Shawn
ultimate
Michaels
heel.
banged
All right,
Sonny?
so I just wanted to honorable mention something. You brought something up, and I thought it was
Me and Rob don't get a
relative.
turn. It's fine.
Uh,
We do this every show.
all-time heel. We were talking about all-time heel, right? Top 4. Andy Kaufman is being inducted into the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame
Well deserved.
because of
Great
his
heel.
heel
People
with
wanted to
Jerry
kill him.
Lawler.
Yeah.
And he
Wanted to
helped
kill him.
Jerry Lawler and the WWF
To this day.
get to a next
It
level.
wasn't a
It's-
WWF.
It was a Letterman show.
I'm
that
sorry,
he
but
really-
it's pre-WWF.
But to help
It's
Lawler get to
it's-
WWE.
throughout Memphis.
regional
Yeah.
wrestling
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to another
Wild.
level.
So good.
Yeah.
The storytelling.
They
and like
took
they
David
took it to
Letterman
another-
or fucking
took
the
it to
Night
another
Show.
level, yeah.
They're on
Go
the
for a
Night
year
Show.
long.
Shut up, Siri. We're on the Night Show wrestling each other. What he dropped? What? Andy Kaufman's on the Night Show with the neck
With the neck
brace.
brace.
Well,
Yeah.
Jerry,
Jerry
Lawler
Lawler-
drove him in the
Drove
ring.
him,
Yeah.
Bro.
Is that not
Amazing.
some of the best heel?
Well, he would be like
of all
beating up
time.
women, not
So,
really.
Andy
you know,
Kaufman?
Andy
he
Kaufman-
would
Oh, he'd be
be
assaulting
wrestling
women.
champion,
Yes.
right?
Andy
Yeah.
Kaufman's
He would
gimmick-
wrestle
Yes.
women all the time, and then eventually.
And it was probably May. It was probably fucking May and all those.
No,
women.
it was regular like women off the street, and he'd be
Yeah.
like,
Oh
"Look,
my
I'm a man.
God.
I could dominate you."
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason you hate him because it's like you're a
people
bitch.
He was making,
You're
he was
beating up
making fun
women.
of the well, I'm sorry, he was making fun of wrestling in a way too.
He was
Yeah.
making
He's
fun of the
mocking
South
the
and
whole-
Southerners. You know,
Yeah.
he
Jerry
would,
Lawler,
bro.
I'm a wrestler. You're just a big old country dumb wrestler.
yeah, exactly.
Shit like that.
I feel like it helped Kaufman being a great heel help make Lawler's career even bigger, more national. It helped make wrestling
Definitely.
more national. It's before our time. Like we have no point of reference
It
to
put
that.
Jerry Lawler on the map for sure.
Right? Because he
They
was
were
a
so
bad
smart with
guy.
that.
Like he was like as much as Kaufman was a bad guy to the wrestling audience, to like people at large, Lawler probably looked like a dick.
Yeah.
He probably looked like such a dick. Kaufman was just this like, oh, he's a comedian, he's funny, he's on
Yeah, you're gonna beat
Taxi,
that guy up,
and you
yeah.
didn't have social media. You had no perspective of him other than he's the funny guy on Taxi. He's weird. Why is Jerry Lawler attacking him? Perfect fucking heel. Really good.
Segueing back to our conversation, Rob, do you want to pick your greatest WrestleMania of all time? I think I already know what you're going to say, but
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, well, he was. Yeah, he's.
But not only for the Dragon, but of course Andre and the Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, the
That's
build
the
up to
match.
that was like almost second to
story.
Him
none.
ripping the chain.
When
off
he's
his-
bleeding and
yeah.
he's like, "Will you sign it?" Yeah.
Yo, and I love you. Have you heard the story where he was like, I tried to put
Oh,
Vicks
like
under
Vicks
his
under his
eyes so he
eyes
would
to
cry.
cry.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
dying.
yeah.
What's that
So
story?
good.
What's that story?
So Hulk Hogan puts like he was gonna put Vicks under his eyes so he would cry. It would make his
Because
eyes
he
tear up.
couldn't believe that Andre would turn.
Because it was like his
Andre
friend.
went heel. Like
Andre
against
was
him.
a
I don't know
face,
that whole.
with the company, and then like
sure.
he turned heel,
Came out with Bobby
and
Heenan.
then
That's why he's
basically,
top
like,
10.
took
That's why
the
he's on the
title,
top
and then
10.
like gave it to who did he give it to?
$1 Million
Dollar
Man.
Man.
Yeah.
Because Ted bought it off of him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That was
I
a-
feel
that
like
was a
Andre
great-
doesn't make
that
everybody's
was a
top 10,
great,
but he should.
It's generational thing. Again,
I
Andre,
said that.
even for me, like watching Andre when I was growing up, he was at the tail end of his career.
Right.
So I never really, I've seen it now through videotapes, like you were saying before, but I never
That
got to
great
see a
documentary.
prime Andre the Giant.
That's it.
I saw that documentary. I thought it was
You
amazing.
know,
great.
it's funny.
That's-
Similar to you. My great grandparents were fucking wrestling fans, and they used to go to shows back in the day. And then my grandparents liked it. My parents liked it, and my parents were the ones watching like Andre the Giant and all those guys, and Killer Kowalski and
Yeah,
fucking
Killer
Haystacks
Kowalski.
Calhoun, and
Yep.
And
all
then
those
Rob
guys.
wasn't. They weren't allowed. Rob wasn't allowed to watch it. 'cause
Well,
he
you know what it
was-
He would
was?
get nuts and
Hopping
break
off-
I would
things.
get nuts. I had this big yellow stuffed bear,
His body slamming
and
Big
I would
Bird
do
off
like
the
wrestling
couch.
moves on it and shit.
I had like a,
Pete, come here.
Yeah,
had a
Peter,
3 foot
come
tall
here,
Saint. I
bud.
used to do that too.
Used to
DDT.
beat the shit out of it. Oh man, the figure 4 leg locks.
My mom
Rob
used to
was
get
bigger
pissed
than-
at me. I would go to the top of our fucking. We had a really big couch at my grandma's house. I would go to the top of the couch and do the point, and then just be
Me
elbow
too.
dropping everything.
Me
Didn't matter
too.
what it was, you were getting fucking elbow dropped.
No, I used to land
Since
on my
you said
knees
that,
like a crazy fuck.
My pick for my favorite WrestleMania of all time, and a lot of it is nostalgia because it was the first one that I attended live in person, and that's WrestleMania 5. I saw it at the Trump Plaza,
Nice.
a hotel and casino in Atlantic City.
Great WrestleMania.
I was 89, so I was, Jesus Christ, I was 8 years old, 7 years old. But the build-up to that match is sitting behind you. It was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy
That's
Savage.
gonna be the
Savage
best.
For the world title, the Mega
Brother.
Powers explode.
The Mega. Oh, that's
Amazing.
after the Mega Powers story arc and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the culmination of that
The world's
story.
most awkward
Oh
handshake.
shit,
Yeah.
that's cool. That was a
You
great
had
story.
lust in your eyes.
Lust in your eyes for
Elizabeth, Miss Elizabeth.
I love that whole thing.
Oh my god.
Touched
And
her behind.
that's definitely one of those.
Chris,
There's a
can
little bit
you-
of truth.
Was that when he was
behind it.
tending to Miss Elizabeth on like the
Oh my God!
the whole?
And then the whole
my
thing,
God.
yeah.
The
He
promo
really
that
used to lock
Macho
her in
Man-
rooms
Carries her
and
in the
shit.
back.
There's a funny meme online. It's Macho Man's promo where he's pouring sweat and his eyeballs are coming out of the screen.
Yeah, he's
and
flipping
they play They play it. Yeah. They do that where like when you're gonna like ejaculate. Like this is what it feels like. There's so many memes of that promo, but that promo is Macho Man just shelling his soul out to talk about how much he fucking hates Hulk Hogan.
Because you know what's wild?
It's
It
so
was the fucking
real.
truth back
It's so
then.
real. Yeah, he loved Elizabeth in the
He was
obsessive
obsessed.
way.
Yeah,
It's
it was
not
like-
healthy.
Dark
He would
side of
lock
the
her in a
ring, man.
room.
Yeah, it was very.
He locked
That,
her in a
it was a
room by
terrible
himself.
story. Him and then her and Lex Luger and
He
Yeah,
really
that's a
did
fucking
love
Let me
sin.
let me bring it to the comments here. So the real Jacob is saying that WrestleMania 23, you had the crazy Money in the Bank ladder match. He said with Hardy's jumping onto Edge. I don't think that was Money in the Bank. That was a TLC, right?
I don't think Money in the Bank existed. Yeah, right.
So the TLC was WrestleMania 17.
Well,
wasn't it?
TLC
First
was I think 17, and that's where the spear happened off.
So what is he saying about the match? What
Well, he
match
said
was-
Mania 23. He said Money in the Bank match. He mentioned Hardy and Edge, but I think that was a different match. Trump versus McMahon, and also Cena versus Shawn. So 23 was a big one.
Well, that's when they had the shave the hair match, right?
Well, Cena versus
Yeah.
Shawn was a good match. That kind of
McMahon
was like a
shaved his
passing of
head,
the
yeah.
torch
Yeah.
from HBK to Cena.
Well, because
It
it
is
wasn't even
cool
just Trump
in-
versus McMahon. It was Umanga versus Lashley.
Umaga was really good.
Umanga.
He was really good.
was
I love
shame he passed on.
Umaga. Umaga was great. Yeah, it's a shame that he's not around. I fucking
We've
loved
been
Umaga.
we've all been recently playing WWE 2K, which 2K23 has the John Cena showcase. You guys were talking about it before.
We just
It's
finished
cool
it, yeah.
because you don't play as John Cena. You play
Thank
as
God.
every one of his opponents
the people that
through his
beat
history.
him.
fucking
They're all
hate
mad
because
that
everybody
he beat
hates
him.
So
him.
you just keep
So
beating
they
the
just
shit
know
out of John
that. So
Cena
the
over
first
and over.
match is cool because it's the RVD
Yeah.
One night stand.
ECW match at the what was the-
Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Fucking really
They
cool.
Is that the one
built
where-
him as this Superman geniusly. Most people hate it,
Yeah.
but if you look back, you're like,
It
Wow.
works.
Yeah.
Work with the
Work.
kids, and isn't that all
Listen,
that
he
really
sold a lot
fucking
of
matters?
merchandise, he
You
made a
really
lot of
you
money.
shouldn't try to appeal
He
to
was
the.
the next Hogan.
That's
he wasn't
crazy.
the next Austin.
That's
He
crazy.
was the
To
next
me,
Hogan.
like
The shiny.
the bell
Look at him.
rings,
He's
I
got
don't-
the smirk and this big glow.
And
and
who would you say was
he's
his
likable?
best
He has this
rival?
stupid, goofy likability
you.
that I hate.
Thank you. His
That-
best rival. And that was the thing.
Oh,
is
Edge-
that
the
was an
Edge
era
matches
where
are
people
fun.
didn't want to watch because they were tired of seeing it being jammed down their throats.
Yeah.
And when Edge got involved in the mix and cost him the belt at One Night Stand, and then also when he would, cash in the Money in the Bank and beat Cena, it made you love Edge that much more because it's like, thank fucking God he finally dethroned this guy.
This piece of shit.
Edge was
You
great.
know who has a
Edge was
weird-
great
I always
piece of
liked
shit.
Edge.
I feel like Brock Lesnar has one of the weirdest, toughest things because he's just so dominant that he just
Kill
wins.
people in real life.
Yeah, he just can kill everything and rip your throat out. So you're just looking at this guy and you're like, oh yeah, he's just gonna win everything all the time and then get bored.
I gotta
I
say
don't know.
though, his matches are fun. I don't care.
I like
He
Les.
fucking
I love Brock
destroys.
He's great at
people.
selling. When he
Because
sells,
he can make
sells.
John Cena look like a rag doll, and I think that's like what's the most impressive. You
Well,
look
he
at it, you're
has
like,
too, and like it was funny when like people were really, really sick of him. Brock comes back from UFC.
One of the
it
biggest
just
pops of all
annihilates
time.
him.
Yeah,
That's one of the
he
matches.
ragdolls the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and like
that's
for-
two of the
For
matches.
Cena to accept, like, hey, I'm on my way out. I really don't care.
Just kill me.
Like,
in
you know-
Was he the
SummerSlam,
first?
kill
Was
me.
it against Cena that he did like the 1,000 fucking German
Suplex
suplexes?
City.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's how that
that's
was
one
born.
of
Yeah,
the
that's what
showcase
started.
And then he said,
missions.
"Suplex City,
is
bitch,"
You
and that
suplex
became
him
the
eight,
thing.
over and over
bro,
and over
you
and over again.
suplex him 8 times, then you do
Shout
something
out
else.
Mike Marriott.
Then it goes suplex him 8 more times, and I was like, all right, I'm done with this match. Just pin him. Because eventually John Cena goes superhuman,
Yeah.
and you just can't stop them from their attacks. So you're like,
And
I
then
need
their,
to end
their
this
favorite
match.
spot
before-
was bringing the bottom of the steps in the ring for like 5 years, and like somehow Brock would always get slammed on that, and that's how Brock would lose.
Or he get hit in
he's
the
back
nuts.
on the
Yeah,
stairs.
Nuts.
Oh, he gets kicked
Tremendous.
in the balls. That was his weak spot. It's just
Yeah.
like,
That
oh,
well,
It's
yeah,
every
that's
man's weak
that's how they protect him when he loses.
Way back
is-
from Saskatoon.
Tremendous.
Just
Well,
trying to see
shit.
if there's anything else in the
I
comments.
really
here
miss
that
the
we
days
missed.
of JR. I think that's what's missing too. He's
Well, and he's
commentary-
As
in
much as I love
AEW.
JR, I am privy to Gorilla Monsoon over JR. You can say whatever you want, but I am.
I mean, for me, too, King.
To me, Gorilla
I'm his
Monsoon
king.
and Bobby Heenan is
I
the
just like
greatest
that they tried
commentating
Macho
team of all
Man for a
time.
little while. That's just funny to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
Gorilla's
didn't want to
great.
do it.
Don't get me wrong, but-
coming over the microphone all the time. That's a
Part
lot.
of the
That's
reason
a
why they
lot.
were trying to switch him to commentator was that he was supposed to have
Boombox,
some
bro.
wild feud with HBK, Macho Man. And it
Oh,
never-
that would have been
it never
crazy.
facilitated.
Probably because
HBK
I'm sure
was
there's a
gonna
lot of
draw
ego.
him
Oof.
in and like bait him to be a wrestler again, and that was going to be like his blow off, which
This is-
would have been sick. That would have been a really good match.
Vince didn't want older guys as the face of the company. They were going through the new generation phase where they wanted younger
HBK
guys.
was-
Cutting
guy,
ties.
yeah.
He was cutting ties.
It sucked for Macho because he still had a lot of gas in the tank in '94.
So
Never
real,
seemed
that
like
match
he
would've been
ran out
sick.
of any.
Real
kinda-
Jacob makes a good point. He said that back in the day, it wasn't even that long ago, but WrestleMania, Money in the Bank used to be a WrestleMania moment. It was a match featured
I saw
during
the Edge
WrestleMania.
one.
They
Edge,
should've never
Edge
made
John,
it a
Should have
pay-per-view.
never
so
made
Edge
its own
John
pay-per-view.
Cena was the first
Part
one,
of
right?
WrestleMania.
So I just learned this. I'm learning this through Showcase.
Was Edge the first?
It
winner?
was.
It was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. It
Winner of
was.
Money in the Bank.
So
Benoit
it was
climbs
interesting.
to the top and he slams
because-
the case on him.
So yeah, so Edge gets the Money in the Bank case. Fucking John Cena's just getting done with the Undertaker fight. I'm sorry, what was it? Hell in the
It
Cell,
was
some
like a
kind
Hell in
of
a Cell or a
some
cage
kind of
match or
crazy
something like
match.
that.
John
You gotta
Cena's
see-
like dead, and then
At,
Edge is like,
New Year's
"I
Revolution."
challenge you,"
Yeah.
and Edge just
Yeah.
comes out, kick like
Handing it to
1, 2,
Vince.
3.
Right.
Boom.
That was one of the greatest
Walks
moments
out with
ever
a belt.
because I still watch then. That's when a lot of people stopped watching wrestling.
Unpredictable.
So
And it was,
I will say
No one knew that it
WWE
was gonna
2K has
happen.
been good. I enjoyed this game. I think 2K23
Oh, yeah.
is worth buy the premium so you get all the fucking characters, the $100. It's worth it because
I will say it's a little glitchy.
And are we
I'm
gonna
hoping
play
that
it?
they
I mean,
come
we
out
went
with
through
a
hell to
patch.
fucking set it up, so we
It
are gonna
seems to
play
have
it.
some
We are
network
gonna play.
errors.
I know. Hey, listen, we got to have CJ.
Really
back on,
appreciate
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This
CJ
is
coming
like-
out here.
I'll be back.
Coming
We've been
out.
playing
We
this
have
shit
been
for a good
talking, just so
time.
you know,
Yeah.
CJ, amongst ourselves, we have been talking about your name has
Oh,
come up
years
every
and a half.
week.
Yeah,
I've been
this
pushing
is-
So
that
we'll
shit
get
since we
CJ on
started.
here
CJ,
eventually,
your
but he
first
can't
guest.
right now.
CJ.
So we want
It
you
means a lot
back.
to me because
You
I've
fit
known
right
you guys
on
for
here,
a very
bruh.
long time, especially from like I became friends with each and every one of you just through hanging out, different interactions through Rob. So
Awesome.
and you guys are like fucking family to me. So I would definitely be back.
Hell
I'll drink
yeah,
to that.
brother. Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We love you.
What?
What? This is like 4 beers, 8 beers. What?
Fuck yeah.
What do we want to do? We want to clap CJ out, and we want to play a couple of matches, and then what's the plan here?
Well, before he leaves, I do want to mention, because you are a big Star Wars fan,
Yes.
just like me, and that was one of the things that we bonded on. I just wanted to touch on The Mandalorian real quick. And the latest episode, I think it's, if you guys haven't seen it, fuck you.
Don't watch.
Best is back, not as Jar Jar Binks, but as a Jedi, a dual lightsaber-wielding Jedi that saves Grogu from Order 66, which is
well-deserved
redemption that we've been waiting for.
He
for
really took it on the
Best.
chin.
Congratulations to him. And fucking
He dealt
Filoni
with so
and
much shit over
Favreau.
the years.
That's terrible. That's
Rob does a
unnecessary.
Really good Jar Jar Binks, so.
He's gonna make me shit myself. I'm gonna laugh so hard.
my tongue is stuck.
No, this.
What did you listen to we say, Trevor?
Yo, this episode of Mando was such a character builder for Grogu.
Oh yeah,
Because Grogu, since his
Fucking ridiculous.
introduction, has been cute and powerful. Oh, he's Baby Yoda. We didn't even know his name for the first season or two.
Yeah.
He's Baby Yoda. He's really cute. He's adorable and he's powerful. Wow. And you just accept him as that. Fine, but that only goes so far.
Yeah.
I think for Star Wars fans,
but they're doing a good job because sometimes
They-
that's enough. And when you start delving into stories like
Not-
Han Solo,
not
you
when
could
someone
fuck it up.
right, and not when someone is on screen episode after episode after episode. They're not just there once in a while. Like
Exactly.
he is important.
You
and
want to be invested in him.
now
Yeah.
he seems vital to the future of the Star Wars legacy.
Exactly.
Whatever the movies are going to be, whatever Thrawn and his interaction, whatever happens going forward, Grogu seems essential. So now that we've gotten, I think, partnering him with the armorer, which is great. Rob met the armorer.
Yeah,
had
Emily Swallow, awesome person. Yeah,
All right.
but she's a
Can't
sweetheart.
tag her anymore.
And she was in Supernatural too. She was in a few
she's
things.
old school, like WB, and
But she was super humble. She gave her one of my business cards. She fell down the rabbit hole, the Peter Griffin videos and stuff. She
we
was
should have her as a
enjoying those.
guest if we don't call her Swallows.
That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. Just think
I would have to.
That's not the way, Joe.
That's not the way.
We're not canceled, guys.
So no, that's cool because she was so instrumental in speaking with Grogu about the history of the Mandalorians, and you're able to watch it and see him absorbing what she's saying, and even though he can't
Internalizing it,
speak,
yeah.
he's internalizing it, and then we get the flashback. Then we see Order 66.
And we kind of heard him talk, like for
a
the first
little
time.
bit.
It was like
Chris was right. I want to give credit
This is the
to
way.
Chris.
They
What
almost
was
said it.
Grogu's almost first words?
It was almost "This is the way."
Yeah, it was a little
I
bit
thought
of.
it was gonna be Mando.
Hey, Mando!
Hey, Mando!
He doesn't spend enough time with Carl Weathers. Carl
So,
Weathers did direct
he
or produce.
did
I
direct
think,
this
that
episode. He
episode.
directed this episode.
I'm
so
so glad
one,
he's back with the franchise.
oh,
love
it's
it,
so
yeah.
good that he's in
I
there.
love that
So
he's doing other things like
If you
directing.
told
or
like
whatever, right?
6-year-old me that Apollo Creed was gonna be in Star Wars one day, I
He was
would
gonna
have
be
been so
Never would've
directing
fucking
believed.
Star Wars.
Yeah, in
I
it,
would've been so
directing
hyped.
it,
In it.
and nailing it. Like he's clearly in
Character.
tune.
Oh, he's fantastic.
with the zeitgeist of
I
fucking
really like to
Star
meet
Wars.
him.
It's crazy.
son of a bitch.
So,
another
did you
CIA
guys
gets to
catch
push you too
one
many pencils?
interesting part? I've been fucking itching to bring this up, but a lot of people don't watch it when it comes out. That speaks to like the overabundance of content. Did you notice the ship and the soldiers that rescued Grogu? Did that stand out to anybody? Because I wanna highlight this.
I didn't see the episode.
They were
Ah, shit!
they were wearing that
Shit!
that costume, that outfit. Well, Rob already said if you didn't watch it, go fuck yourself. So he opened.
Yeah, so
Rob
fuck me.
did.
Yes.
Rob did kind of give CJ to go fuck.
What were
himself.
they? So I was
you,
trying.
Rob.
Were they like
10 more
Okay,
push-ups.
it's very clear what they are.
What are they? What do they call those? They were they're like fucking. Weren't those the people that were with like Leia? Not Leia.
Correct.
With what's her name?
Leia's mom.
Fucking yeah,
Amidala.
Padme.
Padme. Yeah, those were like the same guys that would be with
So
her.
that's a ship from
Imperial
Naboo.
Guard?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a fucking clearly it's like polished stainless steel ship from Naboo,
Coruscant,
and those
all over
are Naboo guards. So if Order 66 is being executed at that time, it means Anakin's at the Jedi Temple, but it also then means there's a Naboo ship, which is Padme or Princess Amidala. Her soldiers are going to save Grogu at the same time. So who the fuck from Naboo is saving Grogu at the same time?
Wait, how is
Amidala,
that? 'Cause
right?
Doesn't
Question. It's my biggest question. I don't know. It stood out to
Well,
me.
she also has
They have to
handmaidens
go
and shit
deeper into
still.
this. This
But how
can't.
does that happen if Boba Fett is involved in
What are you talking about?
right?
Well, Boba Fett's not till
Boba
later
Fett's
because
has nothing to do with this.
it's hard with the
This is a
timelines to keep it
flashback
all
to the
straight.
Execute Order 66.
no,
And
so
he didn't see the episode.
It's going back.
Yeah, so there's a flashback. So basically, Grogu's with the armor, and she's like hammering away at like a piece of armor, and she's giving him like sagely advice, and he's reminiscing.
We've seen Luke in
Execute
this.
Order 66.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay, I
reminiscing
understand
when
that.
he left. Because don't forget, he's 50
Yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah, yeah.
When he was saved from the temple.
Yes.
He remembers like the group he was with, all of them getting killed.
Okay.
He gets to the bottom of this elevator, and then there's Ahmed Best's character.
Okay.
And he picks up a lightsaber that was on the floor from one of the dead Jedi and dual wields these shits and takes out like multiple squadrons of stormtroopers, gets him in a speeder, and then takes him to this ship that he's talking about.
So it's essentially a prequel to how he got to where.
To how he got the fuck off the planet during Execute 66.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to have more flashbacks to flesh that out more. But it was just super interesting to see more of the 66.
It was a good episode,
and how the
but
fuck
it
he
was
got out.
short. It was like 25 minutes.
Wow.
It was
It was
not a
pretty
long
quick one,
episode.
yeah.
I was kind of upset about that. But honestly, I got no problems with the storytelling. And I've even heard in an interview that Favreau and Filoni feel like they're kids playing with their counter action figures, which really
Well, I dig
makes
the
me
story
feel like my brother and I back in the day.
with the guy. What's his name? Pax, like the big dude. And he had
Paz
the son,
Vizsla?
Paz, yeah, and then he had the son Ragnar.
So
and he got
Paz
caught by a
Vizsla, I think,
dragon.
is played by John Favreau.
Is he? That's what I was thinking too. I was
And the
wondering
reason
if
why I
that's him.
say that is because I have an action figure of Paz Vizsla without the helmet. It's John Favreau.
He's a big guy.
I don't know what you mean by.
Yeah, so I
Hey Siri,
dig
I
that
said
whole
I was
dynamic
thinking to
they've
say that
had,
is because I have an action figure.
over multiple seasons.
How about a web
and,
search for it?
Yeah, that was a whole nother cool part. How they I was glad that they rescued the little baby dragon things.
Yeah,
'Cause that was my first thought. It was like
knew
they
were
just
gonna
killed
die.
the
That's
mom.
my dad was saying
Yeah,
to me. He was
he
like, "Oh,
killed
well,
the
they're
mom."
dead."
Got him.
Got
They
him.
didn't want the
Yeah.
jacket.
So they went and brought him back,
jacket.
which is
Go home, Yoko.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Well,
'Cause-
are we playing this fucking game?
do we want
I
to play
know
the
he's
game
like-
before we
Me
go?
and Vin went through fucking hell to get this shit going. I knew
All
you
right,
cocksuckers were gonna do this to me.
We'll keep
The
the show
fucking
going
Vin-
a little
you
bit for the
cocksucker.
show for the stupid
Kill you,
game because
motherfucker.
having a
maybe we
conniption
have a
about
guest.
it.
Yeah, we got
Well,
a
we
game.
get a
nice.
guest.
We are happy to have
Be
CJ here.
nice.
Fuck Shawn
Be
Michaels.
nice for the guests.
I want to
Show-
thank
fuck Shawn
CJ
Michaels.
for coming out to the show. We love you, CJ.
Thank you guys for having me.
One of my
seriously.
best friends in the entire world.
Thank you.
Of course, you're one of my brothers. And we're certainly going to have you back. You're going to be back hanging out with us for WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. Gonna be back for that. That's gonna be.
We're going
awesome.
to probably do a live watch maybe Sunday of WrestleMania. I think that they kind of leaked that the Cody match might happen on Sunday.
Hey, man.
So we
I'm in
want
for it.
Has
to
to.
we want to
Has to happen on
definitely keep an eye out for that. But the
Absolutely.
road to WrestleMania, super exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys had me, man.
And we've been watching WrestleMania's fucking a
Forever.
decade plus now.
Oh wait.
Yeah, it's and you know what's funny is if you want to blame somebody for who got me back into wrestling after many years, it's this guy. Because while I was a classic wrestling fan as a kid, I really dropped off after the Attitude Era died. I
And then he
really
started coming to my indie shows.
didn't
and then-
watch it anymore, and then I started coming to his shows and.
The bug.
Do you have any
I
shows
think it
coming
was
up?
The Evolution at the time was kind of like
Yes,
who
they
was
were a big thing.
kind of like the big
Before you
thing.
go, plug what you have coming up.
Yeah, I got Suffolk Wrestling Alliance, which is here on Long Island. I don't know how many of our fans are.
Deer
from
Park,
Long
what
Island.
up?
Deer Park, what up? Suffolk Wrestling Alliance. I'm going to be in a tag match with my tag team partner, Hunter Grayson. We're going to be taking on the Pride Heavyweight Champion, Pancakes.
Nice.
And the first
Flip that
guy I
pancake.
beat for the SWA Pride Heavyweight Championship, Chris Caden. I know you're watching, Caden, so fuck you.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in a street fight, so that's going to be March 31st at the NYWC Sportatorium.
WrestleMania
Awesome.
weekend.
WrestleMania weekend.
Ooh,
Kick it off
there
with
we
me
go.
kicking some ass. It's a street fight.
Let's go.
Come watch me kick some ass. Then May 13th, we got Full Faith Wrestling at NYWC. Sportatorium, and then I believe it's June 17th. NEW is going to be at the Elks Lodge in Queens.
Ooh,
and
like Rockville
I'm
Stomping
going to
Grounds.
be around for all that. You could check me out at you can check me out on Instagram at CJ_Bambino. I follow pretty much all my fans back. You want to hit me up? You want
Links
to talk
below.
wrestling?
And if you
Links
follow our
below.
Instagram, we
We'll put
tagged
them
him in the
in the
latest
link.
And
post.
Facebook,
Tag
you
'em.
can find me CJ Bambino -official. And I also answer fan questions. You want me on your podcast, whatever. Down to talk wrestling,
Get them on.
all about it.
Hell
So,
yeah.
look me up, CJ Bambino. Love you guys.
Right.
Thank you for coming on the show, brother
Thank you,
man.
man.
Hey, my man.
Hey.
Yeah.
Bambino, Bambino, Bambino.
What?
Hart. Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, Chris, pull up this video game. Let's see this on the screen. We got Mommy up there, Rhea Ripley.
Mommy said,
Mommy.
Joe, who's first?
Challenge.
It is.
I'm guessing.
So, would you? I think you would be Vince.
If all right.
It's not letting me move it though.
No.
Hit your PlayStation button. Well, it says controller 2. So.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, it is. How come this shit ain't working?
Frozen PlayStation.
Sucker.
Hell yeah.
All right, so
We might have to.
no, now you try.
You got it?
I had to pick mine, so you got to pick yours.
Picking you.
Guess.
Well, he's first
He wants to
player,
be
so he
first
should
player.
be you. Because it's your profile. Who's this now?
Grab some pizza on your way out.
Rob, that's your bud.
Pete's.
All right, let's see.
The Pete's.
Go to guess.
All right, so somebody already picked this?
Guest.
Just choose guess.
Me? I'm not moving.
No. Guest.
Only one guess.
We gotta add another one.
You could have 4.
Can you guys move it or no? I
No.
can move it. All right, so I guess you gotta have multiple guests then.
That's me.
Joe,
moving.
queue up a match here, and then we'll get all the controllers on. PlayStation.
See, guess two. That's what I'm saying.
How many times you play
We're
local
gonna add
with
a
multiple
third one
players?
because we have 3 now.
We're gonna have to add multiple.
Add one more.
Quick
Wizard.
play.
And
Well,
quick
who-
play.
Who's controller for
This
this?
seems like me.
Huh?
What?
What?
Sorry, folks. This is our first time
We're
trying
gonna
to
set up
stream
a
this
Royal
full game.
Rumble.
Well, this would be cool though if we could do this.
I'm
more
pretty
than
sure
once.
it's playing the music right now too.
That'd be hilarious. I hope we get fucking DD. We don't
have.
have advertising on our shit anyway. It doesn't matter.
We're not
Oh
monetized,
no, the
so.
70 views we get can't get monetized. Thank you all the 70 views. That's not disrespectful to 70 views, by the way.
All right, so
Oh, there we go.
I'm 2P, I guess.
I'm 4. Yeah, I'm 4. I can tell. Here we go. All right,
Oh no,
I'm player 2.
I'm
I'm
definitely
in the
4.
first slot. That's all I know.
Yep.
Roberto, where you at? There you go.
Third.
All right, I'm 4. Yeah, I can't see. I should have worn my glasses.
Everyone enters randomly.
Is Chris gonna be Triple
No,
H
you
or
know what?
what?
Well, I was
Let
gonna
me
be
tell you
I was
something,
gonna be
brother.
myself, but you know what? For the sake of the Royal
You
Rumble,
can enter randomly.
I'm gonna play as you.
oh, there you go.
Oh, we broke it.
Cut out. There's only
Cut
one
out
for
on
me.
the stream.
Hits!
So.
Ha!
That's true. It's funny.
time.
It's
Hits! Hit! Ha!
Random.
Vince McMahon.
Everyone's
It's just a random. Yeah,
just
fuck
a
it.
random
Let's do
entry.
random.
Wait,
Not
doing
random
random?
wrestler, random entry. Random entry.
Oh,
I love how they got like this random Red Hot Chili
that
Pepper
does
song
look
in
terribly
here.
like Chris.
Oh, wait until you see him in the match. Do a match. Nah. Real guys only for this.
I'm gonna edit.
Oh, there's
the,
Red Hot
the
Chili Peppers in
remaining-
there. I didn't even notice that.
Hey, yo.
Definitely get a takedown
Jesus, they would just not give
Yeah,
me
let's
a wrestler.
mute it.
Interesting.
until we go, maybe.
Jesus Christ, pick somebody already.
Oh, me?
Oh, fucking
Both of you.
Oh, that was Cody. I should have picked Cody.
We'll take Cody.
I know, I got to go all the way back.
You could just go to L2
There he
and
is.
you can go by alphabetical order.
That's true.
C, A, B. There you go.
C, A,
Macho
A,
Man
B,
Cody.
C, D.
All right,
What's
so I
happening
muted
here?
the game momentarily just
I
while the
didn't
music's
confirm.
playing.
I know. I just want to change some of the guys in here. I want to make sure we're getting
Yeah,
some
get
good-
rid of
Oh,
Butch.
these are the-
Get rid of Butch. Get rid of anybody that's fucking new. Santos Escobar, Biggie. Like, let's get some.
Yeah, get the fucking
I'm
class.
putting,
in.
I'm putting the, relax.
Joe knows what
Finn.
he's
Get rid
doing.
of Finn.
Calm down.
Boss man.
Chris
No,
is
no,
just,
no, no,
Chris
keep
is
the
just
big boss
narrating
man.
what you're doing, Joe. It's all right.
So wait, when you select them, does that mean they're not going to be in it? Or they
Oh,
are?
I'm
JBL can
replacing
stay.
them with guys I
Roberto.
want to be in there. So
Mine's like fucking.
Oh, he probably didn't unlock Young Lesnar yet.
I didn't unlock shit. I'm sorry. I did the showcase though. CJ had a really good top 10 list because I feel like it didn't coincide with like any of the previous ones we've done. He had like Guerrero
King.
on there.
Get King in there.
King, he had King on there. That was a good one.
I think
Jake
he's really
Paul.
hurt there,
What a
King.
douchebag. Like
Macho?
no, Jake
Rob's
Paul,
picking
not
Macho.
Macho. Oh, put
No, I'm
Macho
saying
in
put
there.
Macho in.
put
Rob's
Macho in.
picking Macho.
Oh, Rob is Macho.
I am not sure.
Yeah.
The Rock. Put Kevin Nash in there, yeah. Oh, you already have him in.
Diesel.
Put Sean in there. You gotta have Sean. If Sean isn't in the
got
fucking
him.
Mania, bro,
I
we
want to
fucked
edit
up.
a few more because there's some big names that I left out. I'm going to take him out.
Oh,
here.
come on.
This'll be a good
Doink.
way to
Get
take-
rid of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, we don't need
I'd
Reigns.
say-
You
yeah,
don't need
anybody new-
Rollins in there either. If you needed more room. We have Andre in there. Andre's hard to throw over the top rope, though, isn't he?
Well, we're gonna have to team up.
Ooh, manga.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, yeah,
That's
yeah.
my
we-
favorite taker right
Also,
there.
everybody,
Go home, Yoko.
Corporate
shit my pants.
ministry.
Oh shit, my pants.
This song is just awful. It's playing. It's actually
All right.
good. We got it muted for the.
Go ahead and
crowd right
confirm
now.
your guys. Hit random.
Should I be number one?
Oh, random. We can commentate while we're not doing this. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah. Rob and Chris are kind of in charge of commentary here.
Oh my god.
Give it.
Ha! Vader's number
Who's
2.
on there? It's Triple H. Oh my God! It's Triple H.
It's number 11.
Oh.
Yeah, we need all the. Yeah, we need.
Royal Rumble match because 99% of the time you don't even know who you'll see heading
God.
down that ramp next. It's all about
Number 11.
adapting and overcoming.
Apparently he's number 1. He came out
That's
number 1.
perfect. We got all the audio.
I didn't plan that. I did not plan that. So Chris has to beat up his guy now.
That's it.
Real Jacob, thank you for acknowledging.
Oh!
Looking at
He's gonna have to change his
CJ.
name to Triple L. Ultimate Warrior.
So now, do we come in as all the players? How does this work? Do we fill the gap as it goes?
No. When your character's eliminated, you'll be able to kind of fill in whoever else. Actually, no, you don't. Not in
No,
this- not
you're
in this-
stuck?
You're out. You're out.
So
you're
Chris
out.
is out for the rest of the 30
No. He's Vader.
Oh, who got knocked out then?
Triple H is
Triple H
out.
got
Oh,
knocked
none
out.
of us are Triple H. Sorry, I thought he was Triple H.
No, he picked Vader. Triple H was the computer. So he had to take out the computer.
So, oh wow. So if you're out,
we
you're
can come out random.
All right.
We have no idea what numbers were coming out.
I got to pay attention.
Who's next? Diesel.
When Cody's name comes up.
Superplex on the top. Oh my God! Big Daddy Cool.
From the dungeon. So Rob, Joe, this is a question from the dungeon.
Yeah.
So only 2 Jedi got out of the temple during Order 66. It's a good question.
Well,
I feel
no.
like we don't know.
You're talking about like the character from the Jedi Fallen Order game. He also got out.
I think if you watch
Kanan
that,
got out.
it's interesting. And during that,
Oh, Stone Cold, anybody?
no, I'm not Stone Cold. So we'll
think that's
continue
me.
through. Are you Stone Cold?
I think so.
Shit, I forgot. So interestingly,
Chris, are we calling truce
during
or
the
we
escape scene, Grogu's leaving, whatever. You can see a lot of ships taking off from Coruscant, from the Jedi. I think it's a as coordinated, of course, as the Emperor made
There's
it.
a larger network of survivors.
There's
But
a
then
lot
don't
of
forget-
people out there who are like, holy shit, like, we got to get the fuck
Don't
out of
forget,
here.
There's a lot of people that made it out of the temple, but they didn't necessarily survive because
That's true.
Darth Vader hunted them down later.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. So, yeah, people did get out later. That's interesting. You think Grogu and Vader would ever have
That's
an
how Force
interaction?
Unleashed starts. He's hunting down a Jedi on another planet.
Right. It's funny, George Lucas, I think, said it too, is that, or George Martin, you think about all this shit, and
I'm hitting fucking pause.
as much as the fans have thought about it, he's like, stuff I've never thought about,
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't close all the
They're fleshing
loopholes.
out the stories that people didn't care to think about because they wanted to shit on the prequels so much.
Right,
That
that's
people
true.
are not thinking about those stories. Thinking about Luke, Leia, and Han still.
Right.
You know?
And this is what's so good about those stories, is that it's away from Luke, Han, and Leia. It stands on its own, in a sense. It's supported by them. Luke, of course, coming in was a tear-jerker moment for Mandalorian, but they're doing a good job. I think continuing what Filoni begun in Clone Wars, making the Mandalorian so vital and important.
Handing it to somebody that actually directly studied under the creator of the source material,
Right.
I think was the way to go. I think they fucked up giving it to Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy was a producer, but
She's
she
great
wasn't
at producing.
part of the creative process.
Yes, Indiana
And that's
Jones
what-
getting the director or getting the talent, getting the right people to get the movie in a place,
She was
but not
the wrong
creative, not
the right
writing.
person for the wrong job. You know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of thing. It was like she could have been useful in another area. If you wanted to have her produce the new Star Wars movies, yeah, I could see that. But to give full creative control to somebody that wasn't part of its inception and doesn't really understand it from a fan's perspective,
The lore,
so,
yeah.
so much as like I was
business.
friends with the people that made it. So now I'm like, I feel like I was a part of its creative process, but I really wasn't.
Correct. Yeah, the story writers. So then
What
they-
was missing with the prequels, and what I think might have helped those movies is if he had somebody like Dave Filoni that was kind of like an understudy, but also could tell him like, listen, like
He was
this
on the-
makes more sense.
He was on the
I'm a
outside.
fan.
Yes, he was on the outside, so he grew up as a fan and got on the inside because his passion and his ability. So it was the combination of talent and passion that brought him there. Kathleen Kennedy was a legacy. She was there from the beginning. She helped with Indy. She
She
helped
was
with Star
friends
Wars.
with Spielberg.
She's
and
like,
Lucas,
she wants to protect Star Wars. She wants Star Wars to be successful. There's no doubt that that's the reality.
No, everybody
But
at
does
Disney wanted it to be successful
Does
because
she
they wanted to make money.
understand?
But
Does
it's
she
like,
understand what makes Star Wars successful? I think that's something that's hard to quantify for people who aren't on the outside.
I think the nail in the coffin was that I saw somebody describe it online as, and I wholeheartedly agree, is that you had like a bunch of kids work on a project together that hate each other.
True.
And that's what happened with
Gets very
Ryan Johnson and then going to back to ping-ponging back with J.J.
Abrams and
And
Kennedy.
it's like
It's a movie
I
by
think that they
committee.
would have been safer just keeping it with J.J. Abrams because J.J. Abrams had an idea in his mind.
I enjoyed the first one. I was happy to
I was
get
excited for
back
Star Wars
into
again.
Star Wars. Yes, absolutely. And that first movie, as much as it's a carbon copy of the first one,
Snake,
episode 4,
It had potential to get better.
it did. And then they lost the thread. I feel like Abrams should have just done all 3. And also the challenge too is like they made it episodes. They made it part of the essential 6. There's the first 3, then there's the prequel
If
3.
Ray was like a Mando type
suck
of
that,
rubbed
suck
shoulders
your
and
bottle,
who gives a fuck?
didn't get you anywhere.
But they really tried to go with,
They
this is
really
an
ruined the whole
extension.
Emperor coming back thing.
Oh, no reason to do that.
Go home, Yoko.
So funny that the Clone Wars, I'm sorry. The Battle of the Master Bad Batch. So Bad Batch is in the... So wait, who we got coming in? Somebody's about to get counted into the Royal Rumble right now.
He
so
rolled
fat he
underneath
fell
and
out.
then came back in.
Listen to this crowd counting
Oh, Yokozuna.
But no, it's an exciting time for Star Wars fans. You know, we got Ahsoka coming.
That's going to be, I think Ahsoka is, I'm more hyped for Ahsoka than I am for Mando, only because I really love the Clone Wars. I loved what they did after. I love that Ahsoka is like the bridge between the prequels and the current. She's a proper bridge, you know. They've tried others. They've tried Ezra.
Well, that's what they're sprinkling that throughout these new series. I mean, you've got R5-D4 have his redemption story. You've got, you know, stuff like that.
That's a good bring back.
Stuff.
So it's smart for them to.
Ramon's got Yoko help him.
It's smart for them to use Ahsoka to bridge this gap now that she's been involved in kind of all three parts, whereas others have died off.
We've gotten to see her with Luke.
That's incredible. I expect to see actually more of that. I think that's a big. They might be saving it, but I almost think the Ahsoka-Luke interaction is key.
I think they should save it to the end, though.
Absolutely. Wait, I don't think Ahsoka should
Don't blow your Luke load right off.
Never. So also because she knows Grogu, you know, it's like this whole. It's weaved well now. Now we have the foundations.
Like Grogu is going to be like the bridge between the Jedi and the Mandalorian because he's both.
And the post-Luke era, because if they're going to still make these prequels matter, my understanding, I always confuse the timeline. So Grogu is still pre the newest movies, right?
Correct. Jerry the King Lawler. You have to realize.
Strong potential that Grogu dies. Got to be honest.
Stone Cold is on fire here. Or 10 eliminations. But don't forget,
he's not a Jedi. I think he's a Mandalorian.
He's going off doing the Mandalorian thing. So
he's a Mandalorian.
He might fully embrace Mandalorian culture.
Or they use Grogu to be the post-Luke Last Jedi shit. Because Grogu could live for a long time.
Yeah, it's more likely that's
Grogu's out doing his Mando.
Grogu is the future of Star Wars.
Right. Right. It's probably just one of us pausing because uh-oh. Never anticipated that delay. So yeah, that makes sense that Grogu would bridge the gap. Grogu learned from pre-depressed Luke the Force, and then Luke dies, and maybe Grogu meets Rey. I think that's a way to maybe revive.
I don't think Daisy Ridley is ever coming back for Star Wars.
I think it's that.
I think it's done. I think they fucking burned all their bridges. I mean, not for nothing. If you're gonna bring her back, you gotta bring back Poe Dameron. You gotta bring back fucking Finn.
Yo, Finn deserved way better. Finn deserved to have.
Fuck all those characters.
Finn, the first movie was good, I think. Yeah. Finn deserved to have the Force. Vader! All right, so we're gonna hone in because 3 out of 4 here in the ring. We got Jerry the King Lawler. Rob is Macho Man, classic Macho. Pre King Macho.
Oh, who's coming in? Rey Mysterio.
Stunner! Macho Man gets stunned. He's stunned, folks. Oh, he's getting... Oh, no! Macho Man's hanging on by a thread, folks. He's fighting for his life. He rolls back in the ring. Royal Rumble 3, 2, 1. Who's coming in? Cactus Jack. Mysterio's over the top rope. Oh, Mysterio's out. Up. Macho Man is down.
Yeah, I could have eliminated him 20 minutes ago. Why did you do that? Well, back to Star Wars.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk more Mando. Mando's back and forth. So no, seriously, I think if so here's the funny thing. They could do two things. Joe's right. They could retcon the whole thing via Ezra, because Ezra was the only character I've ever seen in Star Wars go in between time.
Speaking
right?
of good rivalries,
So if you watch
Cold
Rebels,
on the Rock.
splitting realities and stuff. So you could argue that the Star Wars TV show follows a
Rock and
different
Austin.
timeline than the movies.
Start
do, you know
on
what I
the
mean?
Rock.
we could definitely, they could go there. They could take the Marvel-esque route, which will annoy fans.
It will.
Partly.
Well, it'll annoy them.
Oh,
but I think
Cactus
they'll
Jack
take
is
that
trying to
over
go
the
for
shit
Stone
show
Cold
that
and
the
help the
new
Rock
movies were.
out. He's helping the
I
Rock.
do think there is a way.
You
No,
see
he's
that
going
those
for
movies
Rock.
never happened.
No, I think there is a way to. I think there's more evidence to support with the current content that they're not going to retcon, but they're going to help try to inform. So, if you're watching Bad Batch, a lot of Bad Batch is about
Andre
the
and Figure.
clones and the
ring's
cloning
not gonna hold up.
and the cloning. What was
Well,
the name
yeah,
of
the
those
Bad
people?
Batch, the girl was a or whatever is a clone, right?
But she's not identical to the source, right? And what they're trying to do, in my
Well,
understanding,
that's essentially what like Ray's father was.
well, they've brushed across the clones of Palpatine. She
That
may
means
be
that Grogu's probably going to get re-kidnapped.
Well,
because
here's the
he's
thing.
The one that was the
the girl in Bad Batch is with a group of clones, right? And
Oh
this
my
group of
God.
clones is special.
Andre's got Brock.
They're very unique. Like
yeah, they were like
they're a little-
enhanced in a certain way, right?
Yeah, they're a
So
little rebellious. They're very on their
they
own.
didn't succumb
There's
to the
some beef in the
66.
ring now, folks.
They did not. They're not programmed with it. She is also a clone. Does not look like them. Does not like the source. Does not look like Boba or his father. Why? What is it about her that makes her a clone that she's not them? Because they look like, you know, Boba's father. Why is she force sensitive? She's force sensitive. Why does she have these powers? Why is this? Grogu's blood was stolen by Moff Gideon, right?
And now it makes
This
you
is-
like wonder. I guess the
Why is
scientist
Disney-
that did it is having his mind wiped now, so that he can't replicate the technology and stop the Emperor. You know that. Kind
Why
of
is
thing.
Disney telling the
I
Bad
can't
Batch
hit him.
story?
No, I can't
Why
hit
did they choose that story and Mando? And you know what I
They're
mean?
trying to do the same thing for their movies that Clone
the
Wars
Hitman
did for
Hart
the
is in your
prequels.
ear.
Absolutely.
Explain
Help
the story
make it
better and flesh it out,
Yes.
so that it makes
They-
sense and isn't some kind of job.
They don't want to ruin the credibility of the original trilogy they created, right? They don't want to decimate what they did by saying, oh, it never
Piper is
happened.
going on
Sorry,
Austin.
we made a mistake. It's almost harder to do that than to
Oh, Brett's got
create
Stone Cold.
more
Brett's got
layers,
Stone Cold.
more information, to try to at least make those stories make some
Oh, here's a
fucking
classic
sense.
match, Bret
So
Hart
to
and
me,
Roddy
the Bad
Piper.
Batch is all about how Palpatine was cloned. That's what the
Vin's
whole
gonna be
thing
number
is.
30
They were
exactly.
legit. They were legit.
And this is a callback to the Heir to the Empire book, which is the first of the Timothy Zahn
There you go.
trilogy, which
Who also
in
wrote-
case brought in Thrawn.
Yes. So it makes sense that I think there is a threat. I think Filoni and Favreau are
And
understanding.
Timothy Zahn was hired by Disney
No,
to
we're not.
write new stories.
Why would I be British Baker?
Somebody's also Piper, so.
So maybe there is respawn.
Oh,
No, not anymore.
back to Star Wars.
Fuck Shawn Michaels.
Yo, buddy. Oh, at least there's respawn. That's good. At least we're coming back
Oh
into
my
this
God.
fucking game.
Oh my God,
So
Vader.
it's good. I think
Vader's just
the
clobbering
current
Brett and
content.
Shawn
Also,
right now.
Bad Batch animation
We're
is
getting down to
top
the
notch.
nitty-gritty
It's
here.
the best available.
final
There's no
couple
better
entrants.
looking animation out there.
Number
Maybe
29,
what
the
if?
Million
It's
Dollar
like a
Man.
more polished Clone Wars. It's on the
Yes.
same animation style, but modern day version. You know, so it's like comparing Toy Story 1 to Toy Story 3. It's like
So
you
back
see there's a leap of technology, but they're still the same characters.
to think about Ahsoka now, because that's the imminent show. You know, we're looking at that. I think that's going to be the launching point for what the next movie is. I think.
Oh, shit, dude.
I think Ahsoka is where we get introduced to Thrawn. because she's a good counterpoint to Thrawn. So she's what's left of the Force. It's like Ahsoka
Cody Rhodes,
and
number
Grogu
30.
are kind of what's left.
And Luke.
Oh, I'm in. Here we go. Cody
Number
Rhodes,
30,
baby,
Cody
let's go.
Rhodes.
Oh, what the fuck? This guy got me from behind. How do I switch characters?
And that was a well-targeted attack. And some effective offense with that one. And he keeps his focus on an attack to that area. Settled an effective leg drop. And more attacks up there. And the top rope.
Oh, come on! The drop kick was imminent. No. Don't go out. Don't go out.
Oh my God, Bret's fighting Sean.
We're fighting Sean. We're down to the
It's
final
happening,
five.
folks. It's happening. Cody's down. What is going on here? Why is Cody like glitched under the rope? Healing up. Jesus. Oh,
Considering that plan now. What's going on here? Battling to stay alive now.
I can't. No way. Fuck you.
Shawn Michaels almost took out Cody Rhodes.
Tree of woe.
Oh, $1 Million Man, we're down to 5. Oh, Cody just eliminated And we're down to 4. The final 4. Austin, Bret Hart, Vader, and Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. And Vader just dunked out Kurt. We got final 3. The Hitman eliminated by Vader, the Mastodon.
Starting to form as that upper area takes more damage.
Vader's been in there since number 1 entrant. Can he win? Can he go coast to coast?
He's called the Master.
Cody Rhodes. Oh, there goes Stone Cold.
Oh,
And we're down to Cody and Vader.
Oh no.
Oh God, he's gonna completely fucking manhandle it.
By the back of the elbow.
It's a slobber doctor.
Oh! There was some JR. Rob, commentate on this.
Good God Almighty, he's gonna pull that arm right out of the socket. And he's got to where he wants him.
Render this leg useless.
And a vicious attack.
Cody Rhodes is making beefcake out of Vader. Uh-oh, here
And the
comes
Irish whip.
Is it? Hit him. It's over.
And it's over. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble.
Like real life.
Cody Rhodes comes in the 30 and wins.
I couldn't have gone better
Chris
than
has
that.
been telling me you better practice playing so we can beat Joe. So I was practicing.
We were in there since fucking
I
beginning.
just waltzed in at the end after Star Wars talk. But hey, Cody wins, deservedly so.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. It's Destiny.
WrestleMania.
This Sunday,
yeah.
right? Oh, so wait, is this
next
is-
Sunday.
All right.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, wow, it's Friday. So next Sunday, are we sure that that's what's going to happen? Because I know we're planning the episode. We want the folks out there to be here for WrestleMania
Yeah, I think so.
Sunday night. Cody Rhodes, because that's
Cody
what we
Rhodes
want,
and
right?
Roman Reigns, WrestleMania.
It's a perfect way to wrap up.
So we-
WrestleMania.
Perfect way to wrap up the show tonight, too.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
bring us home.
Guys, I'm so excited that we were finally able to have one of my best friends
Hell
on the
yes.
show, CJ. So shout out to CJ. Thank you so much for coming down to the show. We love you. Thank you so much to the fans of the Break Room Podcast. You guys
yes.
tune in week out, and we love you
race to
for it.
1,000.
You guys are just as much a part of the show as we are, as we
Gonna
like
hit
to
it.
say. But we will be back next week on Sunday instead of Friday for the WrestleMania show. We're going to do a live watch through.
Hell yes.
And it's going to be freaking sweet. But this has been the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.